Hey, hey, welcome to another episode of Midnight Quest, the only channel where Gohan is already here and ready for the quest to start. That's what we like to see here. Tonight we are going to be continuing the hero's journey to become worthy opponents of the evil Dreadlord Zargon. Tonight, in fact, we are going to be following the same group of heroes that destroyed Ulag the Orc Warlord a few episodes ago, as they have been captured and imprisoned by Ulag's son. Looking forward to getting into that. As always, if you're hanging out in the stream tonight, along with Gohan, make sure you throw something in the chat so that we know that you're here. We've been having lots of fun conversation in the last few episodes, so really looking forward to getting that started as always. Also, if you have any suggestions or questions about lore or questions about game mechanics, don't be afraid to throw that in the chat. We're very happy to discuss what in the world is going on here at any point. You can also find every past episode of Midnight Quest, both quests and painting, over on our Midnight Quest YouTube channel. You can also throw comments down there if you have any questions or suggestions. We look very much forward to seeing and reading those. We're also a small enough channel that we can still respond to every single comment that we get. So if you ask a question, it will be answered. Much appreciated to everybody who's watching these live or not. I think we've got a little bit less setup today than normal, so let's get what we need to do started so that we can actually get into the quest. Okay, as I mentioned, tonight's quest is one of the only ones that dictates which heroes have to go on it. So we're not going to be doing our random hero draw tonight. This quest has to be the same group of heroes that went on Quest 3. Now, unfortunately, just by some crazy random chance, 3 of those 4 heroes were also in the last quest episode. So we're going to be following almost the same group of heroes that was on Quest 5, which we did last time, Millar's Maze. Yeah, I'm struggling so hard with that name, although Justin Pollitt had a pretty good way of pronouncing that. I've still got to get that into my brain. So the heroes that we are going to be following tonight, let me pull my camera over here, are the Knight, Sir Ragnar. Here we go. Also, several of these hero minis have coincidence. Coincidence, Gohan says. Yes, that's right. Several of these heroes were prepped for painting last night, so the other 3 hero minis have not been painted, but they are primed and dry brushed. So we also have Paya the Monk, who is now looking very fancy in her pre-painted state. We also have Hogard Redmantle the Dwarf, also looking very fancy. I really like even just seeing these guys like this dry brushed. It brings out so many of the details that I had never even noticed. And finally, Tiaga the Warlock, who can use one of her spells to transform into a demon. Awesome. Justin Pollitt's here too. Dry brush can make a huge difference, Gohan says. Yes, completely agreed. They're so much neater in this state, even though they're not like totally painted yet. Ooh, Gohan says the Warlock is his favorite. Yes. Oh, it's such a neat miniature. I love too, I don't know how well you guys can see this on camera, the hand that she has raised is like kind of midway through demon form transformation, so it's like bigger than it should be. And I love that detail too. It's neat. Okay, so again, no random selection today. It's these heroes because they were the same ones that went after Ulag the Orc Warlord. So these 4 are going to be the ones that are starting today. Now, this quest is definitely going to be interesting for a lot of reasons. The first of which is that, again, these heroes have been captured. So Ulag's son Grak has figured out the heroes that killed his father, captured them, and they are going to be starting this quest with no spells, no skills, no equipment, and they have to find that stuff before they can do anything else. Ooh, Justin says, got my whole shift planned out. Watch your stream, watch WWE, and read to fill whatever time is left. That is the way to go. This is a good way to fill up some work hours, that's for sure. Excuse me. So we do still need to check out their character sheets so that we can see if we need to go to the armory. We can still buy them stuff. They just won't find it until they find the stuff in the quest. Now, I've played this quest a few times before in past times that I've gone through all of this, and I have had heroes die on this quest because they look in the wrong places for their equipment and end up triggering a bunch of monsters that chase them around. So let's hope that they get lucky card pulls to send them in the right direction. Again, as per usual, just in case anybody's watching that doesn't usually, we randomize everything because this game is meant to be played with at least 2 people, with 1 person as the dungeon master and at least 1 person controlling heroes. I am not, as the person controlling everything, I'm not supposed to know where everything is, but I do. So we're randomizing everything. Hopefully their perception is on point. Yes, no kidding. No kidding. So let's take a look at their character sheets here real fast, just to see if there's anything that we can afford to upgrade so that when they do find their stuff, they're finding good stuff. It's been a little while since I've shown one of these on camera, actually. Let me go back to this camera so that you guys can take a look at what these character sheets actually look like. You're seeing me interact with them a lot, but you guys don't usually see. So we've got at the top the name and the character class. We've also got their base attack and base defense, which is how much how many dice they throw when they don't have their equipment, which is going to be extremely relevant tonight. We then have what kind of dice they throw when they do have their equipment: close range dice, long range dice, defense dice, and then some other stuff: how many maximum body points they have, how many mind points, how many spells they're bringing in, what their equipment is, their body point total. This is the thing I'm interacting with the most, crossing off when they get hit. I also mark which quests they've completed so that if we have something like this, like where we need the heroes that went on quest 3, I can look through the character sheets and see which ones went. Then of course we've got a bunch of boxes for items, like Tiaga has the Talisman of Lore, and then we have all the skill set stuff at the bottom. What levels they have, which I've penciled in little stuff for my card randomization, and then boxes of stuff that we can circle as they start getting benefits. So again, I haven't gone into too much detail until now about what is on these sheets. Definitely much bigger than the original HeroQuest character sheet. So if you were to go out and buy a HeroQuest right now, you would find stuff kind of like this. Now this came out of the Frozen Horror expansion, but the actual ones look about the same. I only use this to keep track of the community wallet, the gold amount, but as you can see, much smaller than the sheet that I'm using because I've added so much stuff. Justin says he has that same chair. Yeah, totally. We bought these a few years ago. I think just at Walmart. Yep. Yeah. Neat. I like them. They're comfortable. I will say one thing though. I may get a different chair at some point because they're leather, and we run a space heater down here because it's the basement, so it's kind of cold. And by the end of each night, my butt is sweating so bad. I don't know if that's something you should say on stream, but I wouldn't mind having something other than leather under me. Okay, so as far as armory stuff, oh yes, let's change back to face cam. As far as what we can buy them, honestly, this team has been on enough quests now that they're looking pretty good. We've got 660 coins though, so we can surely buy something else that we don't have. We could probably get either Ragnar or Hogard some long range. That would probably help us the most. The 2 things that would be of the biggest benefit for most of the characters right now would be chainmail, which would give them some extra defense, but that's 500 coins a pop, so it's going to take us a while to build up enough. And then the other thing is making sure every character can hit close range and long range. And the long range, the short bow and the crossbow are 350 coins. So again, pretty expensive. I think right now, probably our best bet is to just buy one either crossbow or short bow. That's not going to take up all of our gold, but we don't have enough to buy 2 of them. Close, but not quite. And then we'll just kind of build up some more gold this time. Okay, so let's set a vote. For anybody who's in here watching, but I know Gohan and Justin are in here, we've got 2 characters that could take. We have Sir Ragnar, and Hogard the dwarf. Which one of them should get a bow, and should it be a short bow or a crossbow? So you guys figure that out, and I'll do some math here while you guys are throwing stuff in the chat. I'm pretty sure I know how much those things are. 350, I'm pretty sure. 350 either way. And both of them can use it. Okay. And Paya won't be able to get pretty much any armor, but everything else is on the table. Okay. Justin votes dwarf getting a crossbow. Anybody else, any takers? Gohan, any input on that? Either way, I can go ahead and subtract that 350 from here. Somebody's getting a bow. Puts us down to 310. All right, forgive me if the lag between what's happening live and what you guys are seeing is such that it makes it look like I've ignored anybody. I hope I haven't. I'm going to go ahead and write in a crossbow on Hogard, unless Gohan chips in with anything different, and then we'll have to have some sort of tiebreaker. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that. So we'll write in a crossbow on Hogard, which gives him 3 long-range attack. Okay. Now again, he won't have access to that right away. They're going to have to find all of their stuff, but we've got it there ready to go. We're going to go ahead and get their spell and skill cards laid out too, even though they won't have access to those right away either. As always, Ragnar being a knight has the Imperial Training, Rallying Call, and Concentrated Attack skills. We will cover what those do if we get to them. Tiaga has 3 Warlock spells. They're the same spells as normal. Dark Wings, Fear, and Demon Form. Excuse me. Again, we will go over what those do as we need them. And Paya has the Monk Elements. So she gets 8 cards. She has 4 elemental abilities that she can draw from, and each elemental ability has 2 associated cards. Again, just easier to cover what those do if we get to them. Missing 1 fire element. There it is, Burning Spirit. The main thing to remember is that she cannot use the element of fire unless she has used the other 3 elements. And also, at any point during the quest, she can choose to sacrifice both actions on a turn, as well as the ability to defend on the following monster's turn, to regain any of these cards she's used in the quest. She could even regain all 8 of them, but it's a big risk sacrificing both your actions and then not being able to defend against monster attacks. Okay, Hogard doesn't get anything fancy. As far as items, Ragnar has a potion of healing. Hogard has a heroic brew. And Tiaga has the Talisman of Lore, but I don't think there's really no reason to put that card down. It's not giving her any benefit beyond that mind point that's already recorded there. I was going to try to paint today, but ended up falling asleep on the couch. Yeah, I don't blame you. Gohan says I was going to stream Rock Band, but then I didn't. I was probably only awake at home for like 2 hours because I'm working some overtime. Ouch, yeah. That is not a lot of time. Yeah. I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know if I've ever played Rock Band. I definitely played Guitar Hero, but I was not good at it, which is kind of ironic, being a guitar player for literally 30 years and being a guitar teacher. I was always total garbage at those games. I couldn't make it do what it was supposed to, even a little bit. But I don't know that I ever actually played Rock Band. I know what it is, but I don't think I've ever played it. I definitely enjoyed how, you know, Guitar Hero getting so huge kind of brought some older songs back into the consciousness of people my age. I've always been into older music than my age normally is, but it seemed like Rock Band helped a lot in bringing those older songs into the public eye again. Oh, you know what else I forgot? I just realized I didn't start my background music. Sorry, I'm flipping my cameras all around here. Okay, I'm gonna start the background music and let's get the text, the quest text moving. Oh, Justin says Guitar Hero saved metal. Gohan says that's ironically what kind of killed the genre was the older songs becoming more expensive to get. Yeah, that's fair. That makes sense. I imagine a lot of those artists probably were like, wait a minute, we can make money from this, and then started charging too much. All right, quest text. This is quest 6 of our book, The Coming Storm. This quest is called Legacy of the Orc Warlord. Ulag's foul offspring, Grak, has sworn revenge on those who killed his father. Although it has taken him several months, he has finally tracked you down and captured all 4 of you in an ambush. Now you are held prisoner in his dungeons while he decides when and how you will meet your fate. While the guard sleeps outside your cell, you manage to pick the lock with an old rat bone. You must find your equipment and escape to the stairway. So we find the heroes kind of in dire straits here. There we go. So let's get them where they're going. We need the camera to be... Actually, it would be better to use the other camera for this because they're in one of these tiny rooms here. Let's get kind of close. As per usual, I struggle for some reason to place that camera. They are in this tiny room right here. This is their cell, so we'll go ahead and place them in hero order. Sir Ragnar, Paya, Hogard, and Tiaga. And the door to the cell is here, which of course, as mentioned, was locked, but they've managed to pick the lock with a bone. So right off the bat, we've got some weird stuff. They don't have any of their equipment. They're doing base attack, base defense, which doesn't hurt Paya, really. Paya was already doing base attack and base defense, so she's going to be technically our saving grace here, hopefully. Oh, Justin says you should throw some Right Way to Nowhere in your music mix. Yes, you're right, I should. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Need to get in there and mute the vocals and get some instrumental stuff. And then hopefully we'll be having some new stuff in there. Not completely new, but new recordings of you know, our mythical second album, as you put it a few weeks ago, which is absolutely the right description for that. That is being recorded and is missing vocals and bass. So drums done, guitar's done. We're almost there. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now they can't search for anything in the cell. There's no traps, no secret doors, no treasure in the cell, so we can just pretty much get them going, and we have to hope that they are picking the right way to go and they're not triggering too many monsters, which everybody but Paya is going to have a lot of trouble fighting. So if anybody's going to go the wrong way, let's hope it's Paya. We're starting with Ragnar. As I mentioned, nothing to do except move, so let's get going. Here we go. 1. He's going to go ahead and open this door. Let's talk about what he is seeing out in this hallway. Actually, right at the moment, we have nothing more to place from here to here. Nothing at the moment he's seeing. So first off, is he going to stop right there and search for traps? He is. Good. They're being a little bit more cautious, knowing that they're more vulnerable. There are no traps out there. Justin says, I still think the next Right Way album will release before Elder Scrolls 6. Yeah, I hope. Now, again, we're not going through a label, so we can release it as soon as it's done, which is nice. We could have released the Afterwinter album like close to 6 months before it actually released. Or is it more than 6 months? No, it would have been more than 6 months. We could have released Boundless in September of 25 if we hadn't been worried about the Rox Records release schedule. So I'm really crossing my fingers that we can get this album out this year. And if not this year, it should be at the very beginning of 27 for the Right Way album. People have waited long enough. We've waited long enough. It's time. It's beyond time. Okay. Ragnar searched that hallway for traps and found nothing. Very happy to see that they're being a little bit more conscientious of that. By the way, I imagine everybody in here knows already, but I'll throw it out there just in case we've got any new viewers. Even later on, if this isn't live, direct your attention to the bottom left corner of the screen where you will find a dice cam so that you can keep track and make sure that I'm not screwing up anything. Paya the Monk, also moving. She's got a 7 here, so let's go 1, 2, 3. Which direction is she gonna go? She is going to go left, which is good. Let's keep this between us, but that's the right way. That's weird. We were just talking about right way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That ends her right at the end of this hallway. So let me move the camera over to this long hallway so that we can see what she can see. What about GTA 6? Yes, Gohan. I thought the same thing. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I mean, who knows? It seems like Rockstar's just going to keep on pushing that back. So we may have an unlimited amount of time to release that album before GTA 6. All right, all the way down here, there is a door into this blue room right here. It's actually on the corner, but I'm going to edit its location so that we don't have to put a door on a corner. Working on a solution for that, but it's going to take a little while. So we've got a door down here. I know it's blending into the walls a little bit. And then all the way down at the other end, we also have a door right here. Nothing else visible at the moment. No monsters, no walls. She's getting really lucky. Now, she's out of movement, but she still does have a second action. So what we need to determine here is what she's doing there. She can search for secret doors in the hallway that she's, standing in. She could also search for traps or secret doors in the hallway she's looking into. So let's see, which one of those things she's gonna do. She's gonna, for some reason, search for secret doors in the hallway that she's standing in. And there are none. Okay, Hogard. Moving along, also got a 7. 1, 2, 3. Which direction is he going? He is also gonna go the right way. What'd I say, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that means, unfortunately, he's stopping just short of being able to do anything. Search for traps, takes a shot. Yes, I had already forgotten about that. That's true. I think I will take a drink now that you've mentioned that. Okay, and then Tiaga, who's just barely on camera. Let's poke the camera back a little bit. Tiaga here does actually have an option. No, I'm sorry, she doesn't. I was gonna say she could cast her demon form, but until they find their stuff, she can't. So all she's got to do is move as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna keep getting good luck. Okay, now I've just realized something. She also drew a card that should send her the right way, but if this were any other quest, we would be splitting the heroes up 2 and 2. They know they're searching for something. It doesn't make sense to send them all in the same direction. So I might ignore that card roll and send her the other way. Card roll. Card draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now that she can see into this hallway, let's get a camera over there. So she is looking into the square hallway that surrounds the central room. We can see here a wall, a door, oh boy, Tiaga, do not open that door. I've already forgotten how many she moved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So she does have one final movement left. Is she going to stop here and search for traps? No. So she's going to move here. Luckily, she didn't get to the door. Luckily, there's no trap on that space. Now that she's standing in this hallway, is she going to search for traps or secret doors? She is going to search for traps. Okay. weird amount here. Every time we get a trap search in the central area, it's always a little bit weird. We're going to reveal any traps that are here, and also we need to put walls down so that we can correctly identify the area that we are searching. So from this square around to this square, because there is a wall right there. There is indeed one trap here, a pit trap, right here on this corner. Okay. Justin says, by the way, it will be my wife bringing Xavier tomorrow. Just found out I'm coming into work early again. Oh, yep, totally understood. Indeed. I'm keeping an eye on cancellations for you too, so that anytime that we can get both kids on the same day, that would be good. I know that, especially now that gas is such a stupid price, I know that is a long drive to make twice a week. All right, that is all of our heroes. There are currently no monsters on the board, so we are back to Ragnar. All right, now he just needs to move. Okay, so we're gonna send him with Tiaga since our other group is going the other way. Yeah, we can see him on this camera. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we need to determine which way is he going. Is he going towards the door or down the other way? He's gonna go towards the door. Oh boy, all right. Here we go. He's gonna open the door. In this room, we find another door. Also, there is a table. So we're gonna go ahead and stick a dirt floor right here in the center. And the dirt floor just lets the heroes know a little bit better visually that they can't step on any of those 6 spaces. As I mentioned, there is a table right in the middle. Surrounding that table are 6 monsters, 3 mountain orcs, 1, 2, 3. And we'll use a variety of sculpts here, one of the Avalon Hill and a couple of the Milton Bradley. They are all at the back of the room here. Oh no, I don't like that. Let's do that. On the front side of the table, there is a Wasteland Orc. One of these days, I'm gonna remember where all of this stuff is. Here we go. A Wasteland Orc, a Swamp Orc. You'd think, being that I've labeled these, that I'd be able to read them. And also a Deep Femmer. Not the guys you want to be running into when you don't have stuff to fight. This, by the way, is not what these guys are going to look like in the end. This was a half-hearted attempt at painting that I did when I was very young. Just basically painted the whole mini flat black except for the axe. Ooh, Ragnar, that was a dumb move. Oh, Justin says, my mom gave us some piano books, and Xavier says they are the same ones you have. Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, that'll be handy to see what all's in that. All right, so Ragnar still has plenty of movement left. It's pretty clear that this is not where their stuff is. Mentor was not able to divine much other than that their stuff is in a room with a weapons rack. That is the one bit of information that I, as the Dungeon Master, would be allowed to give the heroes. So opening this door and not seeing a weapons rack means they know their stuff is not in there, and they've opened up a whole bunch of whoopsie. So we should probably get him out of there, right? What is he doing? Yeah, 1 dice for attack, 1 dice for defense. Tiaga's not any better off, is she? No. Hogard's the only one who's can defend a little bit okay, and then Paya was already doing her base attack and base defense are 2 and 2. So equipment makes her no difference. I feel like Ragnar ought to run. It's not going to do him any good to try and plug the doorway. Okay, so he moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get where he is. He has 5 more spaces he can move. Is he going to run back down the hallway, or is he going to be running this direction that they haven't been yet, which might also be dumb? Okay, yep, he's doing the dumb thing. 1, 2, 3. Now he can see into this hallway here where that pit trap is, And there is only one new thing to reveal here. A second Deep Femmer. Good job. You guys see why I've had heroes die on this quest before? They're going to end up having the whole quest of monsters chasing after them. So clearly he shouldn't go that way. Let's see, what did he do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So all he can do is 10. Back up 1. He doesn't, sorry, he does have a second action. He might as well go ahead and use that to search for secret doors in this same area, and there are none. All right, Paya. Get the other camera angle going here for Paya, who is standing right at the front of this hallway. It is now a desperate situation for them to find their stuff. That's right, Gohan, a second one. That's not a monster you want to run into one of, let alone two. Okay, Paya, we have a decision to make immediately. Are we going north or south? Oh, good. She is again going the right way. Should I be telling you guys that? Is that killing the suspense? I feel like I shouldn't be letting you guys in on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, she didn't ever search this for traps. We should have asked for that before we go. She didn't step on any. With her second action, traps or secret doors. She's going to search this hallway for traps, which is good. There is one. Not one that she's immediately in danger of stepping in, but there is one. Actually down here, clear at the other corner of the board that we are not looking at. Pit trap right down there on the corner. So pretty avoidable, that one. Okay, that concludes her. So we are now at Hogard. I'm realizing I didn't get their character cards over here so that I can keep track of turn order either. I should have done that. Hogard. Only got a 3. That's no good. 1, 2. Now, is he going with Paya, or is he going to go the other way? He's going to go the other way. Considering they don't yet know where their equipment is, that makes a lot of sense. Do characters die forever? Yes. Yes. Now, there are a couple of things that they can do if they reach 0 body points to save themselves. So, if it is a spell-casting hero, if they have a spell, regardless, well, if they die, it probably won't be their turn. Even if it's not their turn, if they have a healing spell, they're allowed to use that kind of as an emergency. Same thing with potions of healing. If the character that just reached 0 body points has a potion of healing, they're allowed to drink that as an emergency measure to come back. The only other way that they can be healed is by an artifact called the Elixir of Life, which we don't have yet, which is the only way that a different hero can come in to a dead hero's body and revive them. Other than that, once they're gone, they're gone. Now, we do want to have a certain amount of heroes in the ranks total by the end. So if a hero dies, we replace them in the next quest with a hero in that same class, but with a new name and all that sort of stuff. So that we still end up with the correct amount of heroes by the end. The big thing that we lose is potentially whatever equipment that hero was holding. The other heroes have a chance of picking that up, but if a monster picks it up, it's gone. That also loses you some gold. And skill set points. Skill set points are just gone, can't get them back. Brand new heroes start in with 0 skill set points and they got to do quests to build them up. So that's the skill set points is really the main thing that you want to try and keep your heroes alive for, because you don't get those back if you lose them. That brings us to Tiaga. We need to go to the other camera. Here she is, standing right also in the uh-oh zone, and she also can't really hold off these monsters. I think the only option is to roll and run the other way and try and group up. Yeah, we're just going to send her back this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've just realized that is trapping Ragnar away from everybody else. And he is going to end up with a stream of monsters between him and the other heroes. Boy, I hope he doesn't die. That is all that Tiaga can do with her turn. So it is indeed the monster's turn, and all of these monsters that we're looking at right here can move. So let's see. I know that we're going to want to get this one Deep Femmer down here up to Ragnar. That's the only option for that particular monster, so let's do that. I don't think deep monsters are very fast, though. So we should look and make sure, can it actually get to him? Oh, deep Fimmers only move 2 spaces. 1, 2. They are slow. They hit hard, but they're slow. So he didn't make it to Ragnar. Good. Justin says, so if a character dies, but they are needed for a future quest, what happens, or does it not matter what characters go into a quest? Great question. Most of the time, we don't have to have a certain hero go on a quest. Most of the time. This is kind of an exception that it kind of determined that we had to use the same heroes as what went on a previous quest. If one of those heroes, one of these 4, had died between then and now, we would just randomize the 4th hero. So we should also always have 4 heroes in a quest. I don't think I mentioned that earlier too. If somebody dies, we will draw a random card to send a 4th hero into the quest so that there's always 4 heroes in a quest. And if by chance monsters manage to kill everybody, if every hero we send into the quest dies, we consider that a game over and we start the entire campaign back from the beginning with an all new set of heroes. Never had that happen, but we have the rule in place as a contingency. Okay, continuing on, this Black Femmer also can only move 2. 1, 2. Just get that out of the way. Wasteland monsters, like this orc right here, are also pretty slow. Wasteland orcs, I think, only move 3. Yes, that's right. So this is working to their benefit so far. 1, 2, 3. This guy did actually reach Ragnar, so let's do that. The Wasteland orc swings its axe at Ragnar. Oh man, hitting him with a critical hit of 3 of all the times. Ragnar, wearing no armor, does manage to block 1 hit, but takes 2 body points of damage, dropping him to 8. Now he's got a potion, but only if he finds his stuff. The swamp orc right here, I don't think swamp monsters are slow. Swamp orcs are not slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Still didn't reach a hero. Did we move them off camera? No, they're still in there. And then we've got our 3 mountain orcs at the back, which I know move 8 apiece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're going to kind of pile up out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so honestly, that could have gone way worse, but not good. Ragnar now has these 2 orcs between him and the rest of the party, so he's going to get kind of trapped away unless he can blast enough holes. Justin says, nice, so the heroes aren't so personally tied to the plot where it locks you out of a quest. Correct, correct. It's a little bit of a shame because it does kind of, it means that we can't do that narratively, but yeah, there's some contingencies at least. Oh, and we've got a we've got our mandatory spam chat out of the way earlier. That's so if anybody wants to go fame online. Bohemia says, so how are you going to call the next night? Yeah, that's a good question. I'll tell you this too. I don't know, Bohemius, if how much of the more modern Hero Quest stuff you know, but by some crazy luck, I do actually own the Guardians, or sorry, the what are these guys called? The Guardian Knights, the something of the Guardian Knights anyway, which are incredibly rare. When Hero Quest rolled these out, they did not make enough of them, and so once the initial orders were gone, they were just gone. It is practically impossible to get these guys, and somehow I managed to be lucky enough to be one of the ones who actually got them. So if Ragnar were to die, the next knight that would go in would either be one of those 2 or this guy that I think came with Rise of the Dread Moon. I do really like this alternate sculpt. There was some legal reason that they couldn't make more of these. Like they don't own the rights to the sculpts or something like that. So that's kind of a neat thing that I don't know how, I'm usually not very lucky, so I don't know how I managed to be lucky enough to get those. But yeah, we'll have to come up with a name, because we will get some more knights even if Ragnar survives this. We'll have to come up with some more knighty names. Okay, speaking of Ragnar, it is actually his turn, and he's got to be in full panic mode right now. I guess we ought to have him try and get through this orc so that he has the best possible chance of getting back to the other heroes. Now that is the Wasteland Orc, which has higher defense than normal, but it does only have 1 body point. So if he can manage to get a skull and then get lucky and the orc not defend anything, we'll be in business. Ragnar throws a punch at the Wasteland Orc, but misses. Darn. They made them limited edition, absolutely, yeah. Got really lucky there. You hear people talking about that a lot, wishing that they had them. I'm really glad too that they put this Ragnar mini in the Wizards of Morcar. Now I had another mini that I was using for him that I was pretty happy with. So prior to the Wizards of Morcar expansion, this right here was Sir Ragnar for me. And I like this mini too. This was from Minis 3D. I think the guy's name is Pablo, but he sells a lot of stuff on Etsy, kind of like alternate sculpts of things, and I've got quite a few of his things. So I might use this mini for something else at some point because I really like it. But since HeroQuest put out a quote-unquote canon Ragnar, I figured we'd switch to using that. Alright, Ragnar can't do anything else. Since he failed that attack on that orc, all the things have been searched. If he moved, he would just be moving further away from the other heroes. I think it's to his benefit to stay right there. Alright, moving over to Paya. By the way, good to see you, Bohemius. Glad you're here. I saw, I was able to drop in on HeroQuest Fan's stream. Might have been the Friday stream last week. I don't think it was live though. And I noticed you guys were playing the Wizards of Morcar expansion. So that was neat to see. I didn't get to watch very much. We had a really busy weekend, but was glad I got to catch a little bit now that I know you. Neat. Okay, Paya, the monk, is headed up the hallway right here. And she is going to continue up here, and let me tell you, we were hoping that the cards would give them good luck, and indeed they did. 1, 2, 3, as she opens this door. I'll make sure this door is on camera a little bit better. In this room, we have no further doors. We have a cupboard. Again, just the normal HeroQuest cupboard here. We have a weapons rack. And we have a mountain goblin. There we go. And this is indeed the room with their stuff. So again, incredibly lucky that they found that room early, even though we definitely have a bad situation brewing down there by Ragnar. Paya, are we stopping to search for traps or bounding into the room? She is going to search that room for traps. And there are none. But we have to take a drink now, right? So I think we ought to divert everybody to there, because everybody's got to go in there to search for treasure to get their stuff back. Also, one of the only times we can have heroes search for treasure multiple times. Justin says, is the story linear, or do the characters get to choose between quests occasionally? Depends on what you're doing. So if you're just playing regular old HeroQuest, usually each book contains a set of linear quests, and I think HeroQuest has, or Avalon Hill has released what they consider to be the canon order of quest books, but they're also intentionally left kind of open-ended enough that you can play the books in whatever order. I think a lot of people over the years have probably picked which quests look cool and did those, and for the most part, you can do that. There's only a couple of times that you're really required to have a certain artifact from a previous quest to go on a different quest. I've made the story completely linear. So in my rules, the books have to go in a certain order. The books play off events that happened in previous books, and it's not necessarily the same as the canon order that Avalon Hill put out, because I've added a lot of stuff. So, and I made this 14-book storyline before a lot of the more modern expansions were released, too. And I didn't want to keep messing with it, really. But again, they do a good job of leaving stuff open-ended enough that you can kind of pick and choose how you want to do it. You just about could play any of the quests in any order and it would be fine. Just about. Plus you can edit stuff to make it make sense. Do you have my character cards, by the way? No. Oh, are they back in the pile? Okay. I usually have character cards down here to help me remember turn order, and I am doing a garbage job of that. By the way, I'm talking to Savannah. She is also down here. Well, Bohemia says, our theory is that they put the knight on the Rise of the Dread Moon to rectify the error made. The rogue was supposed to be in Rise. Ah, yes. I remember reading that as well. Totally agreed. And I'm glad, honestly, I'm glad they made it a different sculpt because I like the different Rise of the Dread Moon sculpt. There's Hogard. There's Paya. There's Tiaga. Who am I missing? Oh, Ragnar. Did I go past his card? I don't feel like he ought to be this deep in the pile. I must have. There he is. Yep, I went right past his card. I've got the rogues too. I like those. I haven't played a huge amount with them because I chose not to introduce them into the storyline until Mage of the Mirror. So I haven't played with them as much as I'd like. I feel like they're a little underutilized as far as their game mechanics. So I'm looking forward to having them in quests more often to tweak that a little better. I did allocate the special elf spells only to them, just so that they had something else neat about them that was a little bit more than just kind of, you know, stealthy stuff. So I determined, since they're supposed to be the son and daughter of the queen, I thought maybe the elf spells are ancient elven magic that not everybody knows about. Maybe even just your average elf doesn't know about this special magic, and so only those rogues have it. Okay, now that we figured that out, Paya did the thing, it's Hogard's turn. So Hogard was headed down here to this other room, but now they know their equipment is up in that upper room. I feel like he should turn around and go that way. I think any player would do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and he can go into the room now because they know there's not traps. He still didn't quite make it up to the goblin to attack it, but he can search this room for secret doors. There are none. Okay, and finally, Tiaga. Now what should Tiaga do? She also needs to get up to that room, but it would be pretty good to their benefit to get rid of that orc that's standing right there so that she can help Ragnar get back to them. So what should she do here? Should she go up to get her equipment and kind of leave Ragnar to defend on his own, or does she turn around and try to get rid of that orc? I don't know. What do you guys think? Should she go get her stuff, or should she try to get rid of this orc? Let me know. The first suggestion I see in the chat I'll go with. Does she leave Ragnar in the horde of monsters? Or does she try to help? Savannah's trying to influence the decisions. Bohemia says, yes, I play the elf in Wizards of Morcar. We tried the first quest with new heroes without following the advice of the quest book to gear up, and we had to restart the mission. Oh no! Oh, yes, I take it that a lot of that stuff is fairly difficult. I'm looking forward to that book because I have never played that book. It's in my stuff, but again, I made my storyline before they had released a lot of the modern expansions, so my Wizards of Morcar is just the old one. 2 votes for Get Stuff. We're going with that. Thank you guys for the suggestions. So I only have the original 5 quests of Wizards of Morcar, and having looked through the new stuff that they added, especially since I got rid of the Ragnar as a traitor storyline, I think I'll probably leave those quests out and maybe try to input something like that into a different quest and a different storyline later using those mechanics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So she didn't quite make it up to the room, but again, she's close. And they have left Ragnar to hopefully survive long enough for them to get back down there to help him battle his way out. Okay, monster's turn. All of our monsters are over here with Ragnar. Can we get any closer to this situation? Feel like we should. Yeah. Excellent. This camera does a much better job of staying down when I put it down. Okay, Black Femur. 1, 2. Gets right up to Ragnar. I'm pretty sure they swing 4, but let me review that real quick just so I don't do it wrong. I said Black Femur, Deep Femur. I changed the name of that. For years and years, I painted them black when I was 12 or 13 and made it a Femur variant called Black Femur. Recently, since we decided to introduce a whole line of deep monsters, I changed it to Deep Femur, so I may occasionally say the wrong name there. Several years of the term Black Femur in my brain. Okay, the Deep Femur swings its axe. Hitting Ragnar with a 1. He got pretty lucky there, that wasn't worse. He attempts to defend and does not. He is now down to 7 body points. Luckily, only 2 monsters can attack him because of how he's positioned in the hallway. The other one is this Wasteland Orc right here. The Wasteland Orc swings its axe, hitting him with a 2. Not good, but again, could have been worse. He does not defend, putting him down to 5 body points. Oof. He's already down to half health. Let's hope that they can take care of what they need to take care of. Almost missed it, but I've just remembered that up here, we can focus in on this room a little bit better now too that everybody's up there. We have a goblin up there. This mountain goblin right here is going to attack Hogard. The goblin swings its claws and misses. Well, the one hero who had a good chance of defending something and it missed. Justin says, paint it black. Black as night, black as coal. Yes. Okay, so then we can get back up to heroes. So first off, we are at Ragnar, who is down here right in the middle of a pretty bad situation. And I think we, again, need to keep him attacking this Wasteland Orc so that he can try to get back towards the heroes. You know what, since we haven't done anything yet, this Swamp Orc right here should have moved too. I know I'm going to move it off camera, but I'm going to move it towards the other group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Didn't get to anybody. So back to what we're doing here. Ragnar throws a punch at the Wasteland Orc, hitting it with 1. Now remember, Wasteland monsters have better defense than normal. The Orc does not defend. All right, go Ragnar. Showing why he's on the team in the first place. Let's get him moving. Ragnar rolls a 6. Could have been worse, could have been better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We probably just moved him off camera too, didn't we? Yeah, there he is. Okay, that went just about as good as it could go. Now we are at Paya, who is up looking into the door of the room. Now again, she can't shoot anything, so she's going to have to walk in there to fight that goblin. That shouldn't be a big deal. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Paya throws a fist at the goblin, but misses. Darn it. She even throws 2 dice. She still missed. All right, that takes us to Hogard, who is also already standing right there at the goblin. Now Hogard, yes, his base attack is only 1 without any gear. Hogard throws a fist at the mountain goblin, hitting it with a 1. Goblins have garbage defense. This is a good shot here, and he does manage to kill it. You don't want to get hit by a dwarven fist, that is for sure. Okay, that leaves him open to search this room for treasure, which is good. Any hero that searches this room for treasure finds their stuff. As I mentioned earlier, this is one of the only points that I allow more than 1 treasure search in a room. Each of the 4 heroes is going to have to come in here to search for treasure to get their stuff. So Hogard's good to go now. We are now at Tiaga. Get her moving up into that room too. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll allow her to search this room for treasure. And of course, she also finds her stuff. Boy, our dog is really not enjoying not being allowed to be down here. Hopefully she doesn't wake up the kids. That takes us to the monster's turn. Okay. So we'll take care of the orc that is on camera already. This swamp orc right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to be attacking Hogard's back. Luckily, Hogard's got his stuff here. Swamp monsters, again, they are less defense, but higher attack. I don't know why I said again. I don't think I've mentioned that. So this orc swings its sword, but misses. Okay, we didn't have to worry about him having his gear back after all. And back over on the other camera, we have a whole bunch of monsters that are also going to be giving chase. We'll start with the Deep Vimmer because it's slow. 1, 2. We've got this orc right here, which is a... no, all the rest of the orcs here are mountain orcs. We killed the 2 variants. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are we on camera there? Just barely. This mountain orc is going to be attacking Ragnar, who still does not have stuff. The orc swings its sword, hitting Ragnar with a 1. He attempts to defend, and does. All right, Ragnar. He's on a roll. Okay, over here we've got another mountain orc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another mountain orc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one more Deep Vimmer. 1. So we've got monsters coming, but at least things aren't looking quite so dire. Okay, it is Ragnar's turn, and we definitely want to have him run farther away, but he might as well take a shot at this orc before he does that. Ragnar throws a punch at the mountain orc, hitting it with a 1. The orc does not defend. Killing it. Justin says, I don't believe I've ever heard you cover Rolling Stones. That's true. Yeah. Not a big Stones fan, honestly. Now, I'm not in one of those, you know, it seems like you always hear people say it's either Beatles or Stones. You can't like both of them. And I don't subscribe to that at all. But I've never heard a Stones song that I've been a big fan of. In the student bands, I definitely did Can't Get No Satisfaction more than once. There's a few times that bands did Satisfaction. And I enjoyed playing that one. I don't particularly care for the Stones recording of it, but playing it in a band and rocking it up a little bit more was fun. But yeah, for the most part, I've done Paint It Black a couple of times, not in bands, but learned it for students and taught it. But I don't think I've done any other ones. Strange. Let's get Ragnar running. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was a pretty good run. We ran straight off camera there. There we go. Right up there. Okay, now he can't do anything about that swamp orc there because he's already attacked this turn. We got a whole room full of heroes to do that, though. We are now at Paya the monk, who is already standing in the room, so we can use her first action to search for treasure, so she gets all of her stuff back, which for her is really just her monk skills. Nothing else. She didn't have any items or any weapons or armor. Being the monk, she's getting stronger with her bare hands. Unfortunately, there's nothing else she can do. She still can't do anything long range, and Hogard's in the way of attacking that orc, so she's going to have to just kind of stand there for now. But Hogard can definitely attack, and he's got his stuff back now. So Hogard swings his broadsword at the orc, but misses. Oh, dice, don't turn against us now. So would it be to their benefit for him to move out of the way? Yeah, probably so. So that Paya can get in there on the next turn. So we'll just move him 1 over there. Okay, Tiaga, who also has her stuff. She's got a few options. I think we definitely want her to fire at that orc. I think we're going to force her demon form spell right here. She's got 2 actions. She might kill the orc, which would allow her to move, but she's got a better chance of killing the orc if she's in demon form. So let's do that. Tiaga is going to cast the demon form spell, which I'm sure most of you guys have seen before. Just in case you have not seen this, this allows her to ignore pit traps and also roll 1 extra dice for attack, regardless of close or long range. This spell will be broken if she takes any damage, but she can get it back if she consumes the essence of a monster by killing it. We are going to be changing out her mini too, to the demon form mini, which has also been primed and dry brushed. Can't wait to get some painted heroes on the board other than Ragnar there. Gonna look really neat. And then she is going to fire. Right, this is 3 for her. Tiaga sends a blast of demonic energy towards the swamp orc and hits it with a 1. Yes, and the orc does not defend because swamp monsters have garbage defense. Let's see, Justin says, I like both Stones and Beatles. I didn't know there are camps of people like that, not even remotely the same music. I don't understand the division. Agreed. Agreed. They were out around the same time, and I take it that they were kind of rivals. Friendly. I don't know that it ever got nasty or anything, but I know that there was some rivalry between the two, so maybe the division even started way back then. But yeah, no, I agree. I don't think it's enough the same thing for it to really be compared. It's the same thing with stuff like the Van Halen, you know, people that only like the David Lee Roth stuff and only like people that only like the Sammy Hagar stuff, and they fire back and forth at each other, and I just I've got a favorite, but I don't hate the David Lee Roth stuff enough to say that I won't listen to it. You know what I mean? And what about Gary Cherone, for that matter? I don't know if there's a huge amount of Van Halen 3 fans out there, but I do think Gary did a good job with what he was given. Okay, that was Tiaga. She used both her actions. That puts us at another monster's turn. Now, luckily, they did get rid of everything that's up there, so all we've got are these monsters down here on the other camera trying to make their way up there. Gohan says, I only like the Beatles stuff that has Ringo in it. Yeah. They definitely had some weird stuff going on later there where sometimes it doesn't seem like it was Ringo playing drums. Yes, I was in a Beatles tribute band when I was really, really young. It was called Diamond Sky, and I was the drummer of that. I just happened to be really into drums at that moment. Would have been 12 or 13, and we did the Sgt. Pepper outfits and went out and performed like that. So being that I was Ringo in that band, I had the bright, shiny pink outfit going out there and playing drums. I immediately got the mallet of the bass drum pedal stuck in my pants and just slammed straight through it. So there is a patch on the knee of that where I just broke the pants utterly. That was a lot of fun. We were in a couple of parades. That's the only time in my life that I was able to do that. I was playing drums in a band on a moving parade float. Very strange. It's a distant memory, though. That was more than 20 years ago at this point. Probably. Okay, so these 2 mountain orcs here are going to move. They're going to move off camera, but I don't think they're going to reach any heroes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They didn't reach anybody, so I'd change cameras if they reached them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You guys will see them here in a second when we go back to the hero's turn. Black Fimmer's kind of moseying along still. 1, 2, and 1, 2. So nobody got there. Okay, back up over here with the heroes. We can see those 2 mountain orcs and our group of heroes. We are currently at Ragnar, and I don't even think we need to roll for this. You're guaranteed at least a 2. 1, 2, and we'll let him search for treasure, which means all of the heroes now have their stuff. And that is absolutely excellent in a quest where characters are often not finding the stuff until it's too late. So they got really lucky there. Paya, if we can actually move Paya out of there. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. She knocked Tiaga over. She was in a hurry, I guess. And we now need to determine what she is going to do, because there's orcs coming, but the whole set of heroes is in there. So I don't necessarily think it's a big deal for them to have to go down there. She could also turn to her right and go up towards the corner, which they haven't seen yet. So let's see, what's she gonna do? She's headed down towards the orcs. She moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So she didn't really get anywhere enough to do anything about it, but she's heading that direction. Justin says, it's like the people who fight over Dio versus Ozzy for Sabbath. Yes, that's a good one. I hadn't thought of that. Yes, I like Dio better, but I like all of it. Why argue about it? Totally agreed. I'm right there with you. Among the many weird music opinions that I have, I've never been a huge fan of Ozzy's voice. I don't hate it. I'm happy to listen to the good stuff with him on it. Definitely prefer Dio. I also really like Tony Martin, who was the singer of Sabbath for a long time and on several albums. Maybe not their best albums, but Tony did really good justice to both the Dio stuff and the Ozzy stuff while he was the vocalist. They put out a live album, I want to say it was called Cross Purposes Live, that has, you know, stuff, original stuff of his, and also Ozzy era stuff, and also Dio era stuff, and he does really good with all of it. Particularly like the Eternal Idol album. I didn't say that very well. The Eternal Idol is an album, I think maybe his first as the lead vocalist. Also has Eric Singer from Kiss playing drums on it. Really, really solid album in an era of Black Sabbath that most people ignored. We are at Hogard, so we also need to see what he's gonna do. 1, 2, which direction is he moving? He's gonna go the other way. 3, and now we can see the whole top hallway. Let's switch to the other camera and get a good view of that top hallway. We can't get the whole thing in camera, but we're talking about this area all the way up here. What he can see right at the moment is only these 2 walls. There is nothing else in this area right at the moment. So Hogard, are we stopping here to search for traps? Yes, he is. So he is going to search that top hallway for traps. And again, the heroes in this area are all born with an innate ability called Warrior Sense, which allows them to focus their senses and detect traps and secret doors without having to physically go through the entire area, or at least that's the lore we're giving to that particular game mechanic. Thus, he is able to search the entire hallway from the corner that he's looking at all the way to the opposite corner, which is just off camera behind my big stupid face. And there are no traps in that entire area. Okay, Tiaga, the Warlock. Now she could actually shoot at those guys down there, so it would probably be to her benefit to go down there, but we'll card it. 1, 2. She is indeed gonna go down that way. 3, 4, 5. Oh, we're not even looking at her. Sorry, guys. I was not paying attention to the camera angles. Okay, so Tiaga just moved out of the room and down to here, where she can fire at that mountain orc. Tiaga sends a blast of energy at the orc, hitting it with a 1. But the monster defends. All right, monster's turn. Pretty much everybody we have is on camera. The main thing we need to do is this mountain orc, who must be very irked right at the moment at being fired at. Go ahead and move that orc behind her too. The orc swings its sword at Tiaga, hitting her with a 2. She defends both. Good, that was a good defense. And then also the 2 black femurs, deep femurs, which are down here in this corner by where my hand is attempting to point very badly. They're about to move on to camera, so we won't move anything yet. 1, 2, and 1, 2. They're gonna get there eventually, in their own time. Okay, I have to use the restroom real quick. Oh, here we go. Justin says, the only fight I entertain is which Ghost frontman is better because it's just a costume popularity contest. Every frontman is the same guy. Yes, and what a fantastic thing that they have going for that. That was a genius idea that they have played to the max. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, and I will be right back. And we're back. By the way, if any of you are wondering what the evil Dreadlord Zargon looks like, that's him waiting for the bathroom in that picture there. Okay, we are at the beginning of a turn, which means we are at Ragnar, and since we like to split the heroes into groups of 2, Ragnar is going to be following Hogard to the north. Alright, not very quickly though. 1, 2, 3, 4 is all he managed, which means he can search that hallway for secret doors. And surprisingly, there are none. This hallway is just a really long walk. Okay, Paya the Monk. Oh, she's kind of in a bad position here because she can't do any long-range attacking, which means she has no way of helping Tiaga get rid of these orcs. That's kind of frustrating. Is there anything she can do? It would be dumb for her to cast her fear spell. Oh, I was looking at the wrong person. I don't know that any of her monk element skills are going to help her here either. No. Okay, well, I really detest ever having to totally skip a hero's turn, because I feel like your average player would not do that. But I don't think there's anything Paya can do unless we're just going to turn her around and send her the other way. I mean, I suppose we could, because Hogard can shoot and she can't, which means Hogard could help a little more effectively. You know what? I've talked myself into that. Let's do that. So we'll move Paya down the other direction. She'll go with Ragnar instead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Still didn't get very far down the hallway, but they're on the way. So now we can turn Hogard around. Since you guys helped him buy a crossbow, 1, 2, 3, he can help attack here. Just in case anybody is wondering or has forgotten, heroes are allowed to shoot and move through other heroes, but they cannot move or shoot through monsters. Monsters, same thing. They can shoot or move through other monsters, but not through heroes. So even though this looks kind of weird, Hogard is, I guess, going to get down onto the floor and shoot the crossbow around Tiaga's legs. So he loads an arrow and fires it off, hitting that mountain orc with a 2. The orc does not defend. Out it goes. And he moved in attack, so that's it for him. That then leaves us with Tiaga, who can fire at this orc right here. No need for her to move. Tiaga fires a blast of energy at the mountain orc, hitting it with a 2. The orc defends. No, I'm sorry, it doesn't. Boy, it was hard for me to even tell that those are 2 white shields. It's gone. It was dead either way. I love my Milton Bradley original Hero Quest dice, but I may have no choice but to switch to the newer ones. Some of these are getting real worn. I'd be able to read it better. You guys would probably be able to read it better. I should probably give some thought to using the new dice. All right, Tiaga can then go ahead and move. So she got a 7. So yeah, I guess she needs to deal with these black femur here. Darn it, deep femur. I have screwed that up every time I've said it this time. And then we got to determine whether she's going to head toward the middle room or towards this blue room down further to the south. 1, 2, 3, 4. No reason to intentionally put her within their range of walking though, so we'll just leave her right there. Okie dokie, and it is their turn, speaking of them. Which camera are we looking at right now? I think it's, is it this one? No.
I'm sorry, but if I was those fimmers and I saw that come around the corner, I think I'd turn tail and run.
Yeah. I think I probably would too. I don't know if you guys heard that from the mic, but Savannah said if she was a femmer and she saw a big demon like that come around the corner, she would just run away.
I'm out of here.
Yeah. All right, so they're moving. They're not going to get to her, but they're moving. 1, 2. 1, 2. They know they have to take care of it, but they're probably peeing in their armor a little bit. Okay, Ragnar. He's not quite on camera with this other camera. All right, well, he's gonna move better into the camera. So he's up there in the corner there. Yeah, that's a pretty good move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So about halfway down the hallway, not quite, but getting close. And there's nothing else that needs to be searched there. He can't do anything else until they get to the other end. We're just rolling them. Paya is also up here, so let's roll her as well. Another pretty decent movement there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Someday they will get somewhere that means something. Go ahead and refocus the camera on them. All right, and back over here, we are now at Hogard. Who's a little ways up the hallway there. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll go ahead and let him stand right here so he can shoot. He's also got better defense than Tiaga, so it makes sense for him to be in the front. Hogard loads an arrow into his crossbow and fires, hitting the deep femur with a 1. That's not gonna kill it. Let's see if it defends. It does defend. All right, and Tiaga can also fire from her current position without needing to do anything else. So she sends a blast of energy at the deep femur, hitting it with a 2. Now that might kill it. And indeed it does. The first deep femur out of there. There we go. I'm gonna fix my drawer here. I had it all messed up. One more action she has. She can go ahead and search the hallway she's standing in for secret doors, because nobody did that earlier. There are none, but she did get it searched. That leaves us with a monster's turn, and indeed it is this deep femur, which can finally reach somebody. They've been trying for ages to get to somebody, and it can hit Hogard. The deep femur swings its axe, hitting Hogard with a 2. Oh yeah, that's right, Hogard's got really good defense now. And he only blocks 1. This drops him to 9 body points. Dwarfs build up defense really fast, so the reason his defense is so much higher than everybody else's, he's built his combat skill to have a base defense of 2, plus he has a helmet and a shield. So all of those things are contributing to his 4 defense dice. All right, Ragnar. We need to switch camera angles here again so that we can see them and get them moving further down the hallway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is he still on camera? Yeah. They're almost to the end of that hallway. And Paya moves 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, almost to the end of the hallway, but not quite. Close enough that I think we're going to be triggering something on the next monster's turn. Back over here, we have Hogard, who is now close range on that deep femur. So he pulls out his broadsword and swings, hitting it with a 1. Huh? Broadsword, yes. The deep femur does not defend. That doesn't kill it, but it does damage it. Hopefully, Tiaga can finish that thing off. Tiaga sends a blast of energy at the deep femur, hitting it with a 1, which it does not defend. It is dead. Finally getting rid of the scary line of monsters that had been chasing after them. All right, Tiaga does have one more action, so she can move. We just need to determine if she is going to move down towards this blue room that has a door right here, or if she's going to head down that hallway she's looking down to go to the central room that all those monsters came from. So she got a pretty good movement. Let's see which way she's going to go. She is going to go down. Yeah, that's the better option. I'm glad the cards decided that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll go ahead and let her open this door. Let me get the camera a little bit closer to that door, or to the room. There we go. She opens the door, and in this room, excuse me, there is no further doors. There is a fireplace Here we go with the neat fireplace. Really looking forward to having this painted as well. Fireplace hanging out right here. And a mountain orc. Standing in front of the fireplace, warming his buns. Now there's nothing that she can do about this orc right at the moment because she's done her other action. She wasn't out of moves though, was she? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I've counted that really bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She does have one more move. Would it benefit her to walk into the room? It sure wouldn't. Let's card it. She is going to stop right where she is. She doesn't have the action to search for traps, but we'll leave that. That brings us to the monster's turn, which at the moment is only that one orc. We'll go ahead and send that orc up to attack her. The orc swings its sword, hitting her with a 1, which she does not defend. Oh, that is unfortunate. This brings her to 9 body points, but more importantly, gets rid of her demon form, probably temporarily, because if she is able to kill this guy, she will regain the ability to cast that spell. All right, back up to Ragnar. Everybody still doing good out there? Ooh, I changed my mind. One more thing before we go back to Ragnar, because they're getting close to the end of the hallway, and we can assume that they're making not a bunch of noise, but a fair amount of noise as they walk down the hallway, which almost certainly would attract the attention of the ocean orc that is standing just around the corner, right here. So at this point, they're close enough that that orc surely would have heard them coming and is going to, before the monster's turn is quite over, bound down that hallway to get them. Justin says, yep, just working, sped up for a little for some reason. Yep, that totally understandable there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The ocean orc is able to attack. Now, ocean monsters are very fast, but they've sacrificed a little bit of attack for that speed, so it doesn't hit quite as hard as normal. The ocean orc swings its axe at Paya, hitting her with a 1. She's got 2, right? Yes. She blocks. Ooh. There we go. Okay. My chat like reset there for a second. I saw a little spinny thing, so making sure there's nothing wrong. Now we're back to Ragnar. Now Ragnar does not have any sort of long range, so there is not much that he can do in this situation except move forward and be ready to fight if necessary. He does hit a little harder than Paya does, so if she fails to hit this guy, it may be to her advantage to back off and let him attack instead. It is now her turn though. Paya throws a fist at the orc, hitting it with a 1, but it blocks the attack. Do we get her out of the way? She's got a lot more body points than Ragnar does, but he does defend better than her too. Yes, honestly, I think it's to both of their benefits for her to actually back up 1, 2, so that Ragnar can be the one to attack that orc on the next turn. Okay, back over here with our other heroes, we are at Hogard. Now, we don't really know what's going on with this blue room yet, but I do think we should give Hogard the option. Does he come down here or does he head off towards that middle room? He's going to go down with Tiaga. Honestly, the other option would have been better, but that's totally okay. They don't know for sure that there isn't a secret door down there that would lead to another network of rooms. So, 1, 2, 3. He is headed down this way. We are now then at Tiaga, who is battling this mountain orc. She's just lost her demon form, but as long as she gets a good attack right here, she should get it back. Tiaga pulls out her wooden staff and swings at the orc, hitting it with a critical hit of 2. The orc does not defend. As it dies, she is able to consume its essence, which gives her back the ability to cast her demon form. Again, it doesn't give her the demon form, it just gives her the spell back. So she will have to use an action to cast that. Okay, now that she is done attacking, sorry, my brain just shut off mid-sentence there, she has several options. She can search this room for traps, search this room for secret doors, move into the room for the purpose of searching for treasure on the next turn, or go ahead and cast that demon form spell. And she is doing the third option, which is moving into the room for the purpose of searching for treasure on the next turn. Luckily, that particular square is not trapped. Okay, that leaves us with the monster's turn, which at the moment is just that ocean orc up there at the top, who is going to move forward again and swing its axe at Ragnar. Hitting Ragnar with a critical hit of 2. Ragnar defends 1, but not the other, dropping him to 4 body points. He's got a potion of healing. I think we might want to get him drinking that. Okay, yeah, that actually does take us back to Ragnar's turn now that that monster's turn is over. So let's go ahead and start the turn like that. Ragnar's got a potion of healing. He's really low on health. He is going to drink that potion. So we're going to erase it off his sheet. We're going to discard the card into the treasure discard pile and erase 1, 2, 3, 4 body points, bringing him back up to 8. He then swings his broadsword at the orc. But he misses, because he was too busy drinking potions, I guess. Justin says chug, chug, chug. That's right. Now again, Paya does not have long range. Drinking a potion is not an action, so I do think that it would be to Ragnar's advantage to do the same thing she did and back up 2 squares so that she can attack. Hopefully they'll stop giving up ground now. This is not one of the harder monsters in the quest, so hopefully they don't have too much more trouble getting rid of it. It's Paya's turn now, so let's have her go ahead and move up 1. She swings her wooden staff at... Sorry, not the wooden staff. She's got fists now. She throws a punch at the orc, hitting it with a 1. The orc does not defend. Good. I'm getting rid of it. She moved and then attacked, so that's all for her. We are back down here with Hogard, who is still headed towards this blue room since they don't know if there is any sort of secret door down there. Let's see if he gets enough to get down in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unfortunately, Tiaga is in the way. I keep calling her the wrong name. However, from his current position, he could still search for either traps or secret doors. So let's see which one of those he's going to do. He is going to do the secret door search. That makes a lot of sense. However, there are no secret doors in this room. Tiaga is then left to either search for traps or treasure. However, first off, in the last turn we determined she was going to search for treasure, and also, now that they know that there is no secret doors, she's stepped on every relevant square, and she knows that 1 is not trapped. There's no need to search for traps. So she is going to search this room for treasure. Oh, good question, Justin. Hold on just a second. Lying half covered in dirt in a corner of the room, you find a gem worth 25 gold coins. That puts us up to 335 coins. And that is all they need to do. So we can go ahead and move her out of there. And back up the hallway. So there is this way that they could go. She can't do anything about this trap, however. So Hogard's going to need to be the one to do that, or at least look down that way. So she might as well head back the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the direction they're going to go. And this is the end of their turn. No monsters on the board, so we're back to Ragnar. Justin asked if there are any details on the one-off Right Way to Nowhere reunion show yet, which is, for people that don't know, an old band of mine that was pretty popular around this local area. I'll be honest, man, I don't think it's going to happen, actually. So we were looking at doing a benefit concert for somebody who used to come see us quite often, who recently got essentially a terminal diagnosis. However, it was left up to our vocalist to arrange the entire thing, and it seems like he just isn't doing that. So, not really sure. Right now, the whole idea is in limbo. but our bass player has kind of decided that he just doesn't want to do it for a lot of reasons. Not really worth explaining on the stream, honestly. So if I had to guess, I'd say there's a pretty high chance that it's just not happening now. Still working on the album. That album should be coming out, and that vocalist isn't involved on that album either. It's just going to be myself and my sister, the drummer, and my best friend, the bass player. But yeah, unfortunate. I was looking forward to it, but one of the things that the bass player was worried about was the last time we were on stage together was near to 10 years ago, and none of us are really in shape to play those songs anymore. Maybe me more than any of the rest of them, being that I've continued playing more often than they have. But those songs were a physical challenge, and we don't want to get up there and be like shadows of our former selves. You know what I mean? We don't want to taint what little legacy we managed, I suppose, is the idea that he thought about that. And I get it. I think we would have done fine, but I completely understand what he's saying. Okay, Ragnar, moving down the hallway. 6, okay, not terrible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still didn't quite get to the end of the hallway. Hopefully Paya will. Let's move her as well. Yeah, that's a pretty decent move. I bet she'll get to the end there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, she does. Okay, so now she can see down the hallway that goes down this way. And this is another hallway that is completely open. So there are no doors, no walls. She can see from the corner she's looking at all the way down to the corner that is off camera right now. What she can see is 2 ocean goblins. Where are they at? Here they are. Ah, yes, these are minis that Savannah has painted. So we have a couple of ocean goblins here. I'm showing them to the wrong camera. Here we go. Raised in or around bodies of water. These guys are extremely fast, but don't attack as hard as normal monsters. Now they're not directly in the hallway, but there's one just off there. And then if we look down here at the other corner, there's one just off the hallway here. Now these guys are extremely fast, so we're definitely gonna have some fight. Okay, Paya was not finished with her move yet. However, nothing has been searched in this hallway. So, Paya, are we stopping and searching for traps? No. She is going to continue on. How much did she move? That's a good question. I'll be honest, I might get this wrong. I'm thinking that she was here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 6, 7, 8, 9, and luckily none of those squares were trapped. Gohan says, I think after a gym trip or 2, y'all would be fine if some of these bands are still out there touring. Yes, you're not kidding, man. You are not kidding. If Vince Neil can get up there and do what he's doing, then I think we can probably manage. And that's not even having the discussion of whether or not Vince Neil is singing live or if his vocals are on tracks. And I'll be honest, I hope that he's singing live, because if the tracks still sound that bad, you really screwed up. But yes, yeah, point taken. Okay, back down over here we are at Hogard, who should probably take a peek down this other hallway. And he only got 2. So if he moves 1, he'll now be able to see down this hallway. And in fact, there's actually not anything really to speak of down here. There's just a wall right here. So there's not anything. And now he could search this for secret doors just to make sure. But again, where would it go? The only square that even could have a secret door is this one, which would just lead them right back into this room they can already get to. So I think that he can see that there's no purpose to step on that trap or go any further down there. So we can just put him back where he was, 2. Gohan says, I think Axel needs to use a track. Yeah, that's no kidding. I've been recording a guy recently who's a pretty big Guns N' Roses fan, And it's been interesting to hear his take on that situation, because apparently occasionally, he follows this a little better than I do, apparently occasionally Axl still sounds really good. But yeah, I'm sure that we've probably all seen those videos where he just kind of sounds like Mickey Mouse when he sings, which is hilarious. Probably not all that hilarious for the fans who paid a lot of money to see him, but yeah. Justin says, Axl makes me mad. He chooses to sound like a dying cat. Yeah, he can sing well. That opening to Patience is good, but then here comes the screaming cat sounds. Yeah. Yeah, that is definitely a worry about getting older when you're trying to do songs that you made in your prime and you just physically aren't capable of it anymore. That has got to be a frustration that I dread finding out about. Older in life, to not be able to do something you used to like nail has got to be extremely frustrating. And yeah, it's a little bit of a moral qualm as far as going out and charging people money to see your band. Are you still worth that much money, but do you really want to just never play those songs again? Gohan says nobody ever used vocal coaches back then either. Yeah. Yep. And then, now that they're using vocal coaches, they're going out there and sounding like that, which makes you wonder, are the coaches pointless, or would they sound even worse without the coaches? Yeah, it's kind of scary. Ending out our turn is Tiaga, who is also on camera right up here. Let's draw a card. Is she going to cast Demon Form or move? She's going to move. She's saving that Demon Form spell for something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Almost moved her off camera there. Now there's nothing else to do in this hallway. All the searches have been done, so honestly I think she should go ahead and do the Demon Form spell now. Now I might card that, but it's so easy for her to get it back if she loses it that it's almost silly not to be using it at all times. So we're going to have her go ahead and use her second action to cast that Demon Form. Justin says the audience is mostly old and drunk. Doesn't matter too much for these 80s bands. Yeah, very true. That's another reason that I've mostly retired from live performance. So like out here, most of the places to play are bars. So in Ohio, if you want to make money playing music, you got to be in a cover band doing 4 hours worth of stuff in bars, and I don't drink either. So yeah, being around a bunch of drunk people is not really high on my list of things I like to do. So yeah. Gohan says, my ex-wife's dad called us one time from what he said was a Skynyrd concert. It was a cover band. Oh no! Oh, how do you mistake that? Probably about 10 years ago, maybe a little less than 10 years ago, I was also in a Kiss tribute band for a little while, which was a lot of fun. The band was not very good. The guy who played Gene Simmons and the guy who played Paul Stanley were very, very good singers, and they were very, very good at playing the characters. They were not super great at playing the instruments, which was frustrating because I love Kiss. Kiss is a big influence for me. But we did the whole thing, the makeup, the costume, the whole thing. And the very first show that I played with them, there was a little old lady who thought we were really Kiss. They came back and asked us, not the owners of the venue, the promoter for the event, asked us if we minded if this little old lady came back to get autographs before we started. And she was just in total awe. We're in our platform boots towering above her, and she was short even just if we hadn't been in platform boots. But that was really neat, just making this lady's day. Although I guess in a way we're kind of lying to her. I'm not sure where she got the idea that we were really Kiss, but none of us corrected it. And then even cooler, a couple of days later, at the time I worked at Dollar General, and a couple of days later I happened to see this same old lady and her husband shopping, and I was running the cash register when they checked out, and so I asked her, because she doesn't know who I am, she only saw me in the makeup and costume. So I asked her, hey, did you see that Kiss band that was in town a couple of days ago? And she just, again, that same look on her face that she had when she was looking up at us. Oh yes, they were amazing, and that was such an odd experience that she has no idea she's talking to one of the band members. So neat. I miss that band sometimes, or at least I miss the idea of being in a Kiss tribute band. But I wish the musicianship had been better. Justin says, "Dude, you handle drunk people with such grace. It's amazing to see." Actually, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I strive to be as polite as I can to everybody who took time out of their day to come see a band that I play in. So even though I'm kind of generally annoyed by drunkenness, I still also genuinely appreciate anybody who's gonna take time to come see the band, or even more, take time to come up and say, "Hey, that was really cool." I did have a drunk guy fall onto the stage one time across my pedal board and then couldn't get up. And my dad, who was running sound, had to run up there and like lift the guy and physically move him. Justin, you won't be surprised to hear that happened at Crazy Cooters. I don't know if you were at that particular show. That was one for the books. Monster's turn. I've gotten distracted here, but I'm really enjoying the conversation with you guys. Monster's turn is these ocean goblins here. This guy here that's on camera is definitely going to get up to Paya there. So I'm pretty sure these guys move 15. Is that right? Yes, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ocean goblins don't hit very hard. They're just really fast. The goblin swings its axe at Paya and hits her with a 1. And she takes the hit. Clearly she wasn't expecting a goblin to come running out of there, I guess. That brings her to 9 body points. And then also, this goblin down here on the other corner is going to move as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. 11, 12, 15. Oh, let's pretend nobody heard that. Gosh. Oh, it's too late at night. And then here's another odd thing, okay? Because there are some other monsters within sight of the monsters that just moved, and one could probably make the argument that if they saw those monsters move, they would also move. Let's leave them for now. What we got? Gohan says, "I could never sing, so I wanted to be a rapper. Now I just wish I could do some of the light screamo stuff because it's so much fun to sing along to and pretend." Yeah. No, totally. I genuinely enjoy just the connection to my instrument, whether or not there's an audience. So I totally get even if you're just like singing along to stuff, there is a certain level of satisfaction with that. And it's neat too that a lot of people don't need to be good at it to still feel that that feeling of satisfaction for that. And that's really cool too, because it means you don't have to have like a ton of experience to get that level of satisfaction from music. Feeling involved in it in any way is enough, and it's super neat. Justin says, "I didn't see that show. I was at a lot of those shows. It was awesome when you used my guitar to play Pink Floyd." Yes, that's right. I forgot about that. Gosh, that's been at least 10 years ago, right? The last Right Way to Nowhere show was in 2017, and it was at Crazy Cooters. Excuse me, but if I had to guess, that show that you're referencing where I played your guitar was probably 2016. There's pictures of that somewhere, I think, too. I have to search for that. Back to Sir Ragnar, who's on camera here. Let's see if we can get closer here. Yeah. There we go. Now, Ragnar's not going to be able to do much, being that he can't shoot, but he can get up there at least. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll let him get up there. Oh, and he can search. They didn't search this hallway for anything. Traps or secret doors, Ragnar? He's doing secret doors from corner to corner. No secret doors in this hallway. Gohan says, "I just want to put on a show and have fun, but I didn't get those talents." Hey, some people manage. Some people manage. I think might be worth a try if it's something you're really interested in. It takes time. Absolutely takes time if you really care about doing it well. But some people are okay with just showing what they can do. Actually, the guys I was talking about in the Kiss tribute were like that. The guy that played the Gene Simmons and the guy that played the Paul Stanley, again, just simply were not very good at playing their instruments, but they still went out and did it. And again, playing to mostly drunk people late at night, very few people ever noticed. I played with not the biggest crowd ever, but some of the biggest crowds I ever played for were with that band, despite the fact that from a musical standpoint, that band was objectively pretty bad. And that was actually a big point of frustration for me, that I had just come out of being in a really, really, really good band that didn't get huge audiences, to go into this like musically kind of questionable band and get like big screaming crowds. I think it was mostly because of the visual element. You see guys that are in the makeup and the costume and everything, it's bound to be impressive. Justin says, my favorite thing to do with music is acoustic covers around the fire. I like doing covers you don't typically hear. Yes. Yeah. I like playing electric better than acoustic, but for that purpose, the playing around the campfire, 100% acoustic is the way to go. And covers you don't typically hear, also the way to go. Maybe not the way to make money, but definitely the way to create an interesting show and something that is artistically fulfilling. That's why Right Way played a bunch of weird covers that you didn't hear very often, is because we were more concerned about playing stuff we thought was cool than playing, you know, Freebird for the millionth time. You weren't going to catch us playing Freebird, that's for sure. Although we probably would have done a pretty cool version of it if we had. Where are we at? We are at Paya, who's up there at that ocean goblin. Paya throws the dice. She throws a punch at the ocean goblin, hitting it with a 1. It does not defend. That guy is out. Now she might as well go ahead and move forward. If she doesn't, that ocean goblin will on the next turn. So we might as well just go ahead and bop her forward. And that brings us over to Hogard the dwarf, who is probably off camera. Yes, he is. There we go. Gohan says, that's why I love Pop Goes Punk. Yes, those were always such interesting crossovers. And Right Way to Nowhere was kind of Metallica-esque, if I had to compare it to only one band. So pretty much anything we covered had that sort of metal, but not screamy metal, you know, classic metal, I guess, if you will, that sort of a feeling to it. Although not always. As Justin mentioned, we did the Pink Floyd song Wish You Were Here, and we did that pretty faithfully to the original. We didn't try to heavy it up too much. All right, Hogard, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We did some neat, we did a kind of a heavier version of Carry On Wayward Son, which was a lot of fun. We did the Led Zeppelin song Black Dog. One of my favorites, we were doing the Beatles song I Want You, She's So Heavy, and that one translates into like heavier metal really, really well. I was really proud of that one. Justin says, what was it like when you announced an Iron Maiden cover as the next song and me with the 1-year-old all the way in the back is the only one cheering? That was par for the course for Right Way to Nowhere. We appealed to a niche audience, so we might announce something to a room full of people and our niche responds and everybody else is confused. But that was pretty fantastic that the dude in the back holding a literal baby is like, yes, Iron Maiden! And then we played Wasted Years. I really like playing that song too. It's a shame we didn't get to do that one too much with Andy. Although of the few covers we did with Chelsea, I feel like she did a good job with that one. Tiaga. She is continuing her move down this way too. She's a little bit off camera. And let's send her into this big room. Now she could go down this hallway, but they need to take care of the searches in this big room before they get too far away from it. 1, 2, 3. Is she gonna stop and search for traps? No. 4, 5, 6. We can presume she's headed for that door. Now that she's in the room, is it traps, secret doors, or treasure? It is going to be secret doors. And there are none. Monster's turn. We need to get back up here to the Ocean Goblin on Paya, right here. The Ocean Goblin swings its sword and hits her with a 1. She defends the attack. Excellent. Gohan says more cameras needed. Yes, you're right. I am out of USB ports on my computer. I'm gonna have to get a USB hub. I gotta tell you, I'm really impressed. Speaking of cameras, I didn't need to change right there. Both of the cameras that are on the board are just iPhone 11s. hooked into OBS. One's using a continuity camera, and the other one's using that app called like Iriune or however you pronounce that. The face cam is just a webcam on the computer, which is why it's garbage. But I just set these iPhones up as just to see what would happen, and I can't believe how good they look, honestly. Obviously, they're not like the highest quality you'll ever see, but they look crazy good for just being like iPhones, you know? And not new iPhones either, like kind of old iPhones. Ragnar can't really do anything again. We'll go ahead and move him a little closer. We'll let him search this hallway for traps because nobody has yet, but there are none in this hallway. And then we are at Paya, who throws a fist at the Ocean Goblin, hitting it with a critical hit of 2 that is also a skilled strike, so that goblin is super dead. Uh-oh, I closed his drawer. There we go. Excellent. That means she can also move. Not very far, but moving nonetheless. 1, 2, 3, 4. This means that she is now looking down that hallway right there. Okay, what have we got? So we know about the wall that's here and the door into the central room. There's also a wall here. There is another door here. And also another ocean goblin here. There we go. Justin says the Die Young cover was amazing, even with Chelsea, and I really liked Breaking the Law. Yes, I forgot we did that one. I wanted to play that one with you guys so bad because it's probably the only song you did that I also do all the way. That would have been really neat, man, yeah. Yes, absolutely. I liked playing that one too, despite the fact that it was simple. I like more complicated songs, but that one just has an energy in it that is undeniable. It didn't need to be complicated. That one was a lot of fun. Hogard. Oh, and you mentioned the Die Young cover. Yes, the Dio era Black Sabbath song Die Young. That was a gamble on our part. Again, a cover that we did because we wanted to play it and not because we thought people would want to hear it. And it had like the perfect ratio of niche audience. So when we would start it, you know, somewhere around half the audiences, generally speaking, just either didn't know what it was or assumed that it was an original. But the other half that knew the song were like mind blown that we were playing a Dio era Sabbath song and absolutely loved it. And yes, I agree. Both Chelsea and Andy did a really good job with that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. By the way, because I'm referencing stuff people don't know, Right Way to Nowhere had 2 vocalists, not at the same time. For a long time we had a girl named Chelsea singing, and then we had some disagreements with her and dissolved the band. And when it was reformed, we reformed with a male vocalist named Andy. So there was some overlap with songs that both of them sang. Okay, so, oops, I moved Hogard off camera while I was blabbing about other stuff. He didn't quite make it up to the room. Tiaga. Now that we've got Hogard coming, there's not really a specific reason that she needs to stay in there. So is she going to search for traps, treasure, or just leave? She is going to just leave. It's a little bit disappointing. 1, 2, 3, 4. She is getting real lucky not stepping on traps since they haven't searched. And then Monster's turn. All we have is this ocean goblin that we placed in this hallway. And I would say he's probably headed for Paya, because he could go either way. He could go for Paya, or he could open this door and go back, towards Tiaga. But he probably is seeing Paya, which makes more sense that he would then rush that direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or I guess again, I should be saying it. I don't know that the monsters are intended to have gender, or at least the Milton Bradley ones aren't. The ocean goblin swings its dagger, hitting Paya with a 1. Excuse me. Paya defends the attack. Ah, that brings us to Ragnar, who's lagging behind a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, and again can't really do anything. Hopefully they get out of these hallways so that the heroes without long range can interact a little bit more. Paya, however, can attack. Paya throws a punch at the Ocean Goblin, hitting it with a 1, which it does not defend. Dead. Ooh, Justin says, I kind of figured Andy would end up in Right Way. I saw you guys do a single with Tantrum and Andy, and it seemed so organic. It was a Guns N' Roses song. Yes, that's right. Justin and I got up on stage with Tantrum to do Sweet Child of Mine at the Mardi Gras event in Winchester. And it was Justin, the bass player, and I, and Andy, and Tantrum's drummer at that time, Sean Mumby, who was a really good drummer, and that was a lot of fun. Yes, from the first time we played with Tantrum, which was our first time playing at the Triangle, we were already starting to have some issues, creatively speaking, with Chelsea. And so when we heard Andy sing, both Justin and I were like, we need that guy. And then we got that guy, and it worked out for a while. I wouldn't trade those experiences, but I do wish that we had focused more on writing and recording rather than playing a bunch of covers and bars. But what can you do? Justin says, you guys woke me up to be there. It was fun, except when I saw my cousin take off her shirt. That wasn't cool. Yeah, I bet. I bet. I do not remember that. I remember seeing plenty of shirtless women at the Triangle. I guess we were at a Mardi Gras event, so that makes sense. I don't remember that, but I don't, for a bit, doubt that it happened. Let's see. Paya got rid of that goblin that was standing there, and now she's got another action, so we might as well get her moving. So first off, which way is she gonna go? Because she could go down this hallway, whoops, or she could continue down this hallway. And it seems like Tiaga's headed to this direction, so it would make more sense for them to continue on. But let's go ahead and card it. Which way is she gonna go? She is gonna continue down the hallway. So let's move the camera to down the hallway. Oh no, don't look at the quest map. Here she goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just barely off camera. There we go. And we are back over to Hogard. Hogard is standing up in this doorway. Is he finally going to search for treasure in this room? Let's see. Does he stop and search for traps before he walks in? No. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now that he's standing in here, traps or treasure? He's going for treasure. Dwarves aren't going to pass up the opportunity for treasure. Gohan says, don't look at the man behind the curtain. Yes! Great Wizard of Oz reference. Let's see what Hogard finds. Hogard, you accidentally brush against an old empty torch bracket. To your surprise, it moves aside, dropping a hidden sack to the floor beneath it. Inside are 15 gold coins. Good, that puts us up to 350 coins total. Seems like an odd thing to hide in such an elaborate hiding place. But who's gonna question goblin logic? That brings us to Tiaga. Okay, Tiaga, who's also sitting there on camera right there. Are we doing traps or are we just leaving? She's just leaving. We appear to have used up all of the red cards in our randomizer deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lucky for her, there are no traps in this room, but she got kind of lucky not searching the room. So, opening this door, there is actually nothing new to place on the board out that hallway, because we have already seen that. Ooh, Gohan says dwarves. Yeah, that's probably a better guess than goblins. If we're talking about a fancy little hiding place like that, probably crafted by dwarves. Good call. So Tiaga's just opened this door out into this hallway. We already knew everything that was out there. There's nothing new to do there. She's out of movement, I think, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, she's not. Is she gonna stop here and search this hallway for traps? Nope. All right, 5. She's done with this trap searching nonsense. Now that she's in the hallway, she has her second action. Are we doing traps or secret doors? Secret doors. I think we really have used up every red card in this deck until we reshuffle it. There are no secret doors in this hallway. No monsters on the board, so we are back to Ragnar, who just by chance is already on camera right up here. Not moving very fast either. 1, 2. Which direction is he going? Yeah, that's what I figured. 3, 4. Whichever way the black cards show, that's where we're going. Paya, over here in the corner, is moving, and again, not very fast. 1, which now allows her to see down this hallway, which is really the last place in the quest that we haven't looked. We are pretty close to the end of this quest now. Let's see what we need to do to populate this hallway. Let me move a camera over here so that we can see what's going on. There is a door here. We know that they can move up this double wide. That's been open the whole time. That's where that deep femur was standing near the beginning of the quest. Further on down, there is also a door here into this yellowish room. There is another door that is currently off camera. Let me switch cameras so that we can see this hallway just a little bit better. There is a door leading into that red room right here. We know about the wall that's right here already. We saw it from the other side. There is also 2 monsters in this hallway, an ocean goblin and an ocean orc. The ocean goblin is standing down here where we're pointing right now, right here. And then the ocean orc is down at the other side, much closer to the heroes. Ocean orcs are unfortunately not painted yet, but so we're just using one of the regular guys right here. This ocean orc is standing right here. Okay, now Paya's got 1 more movement. She only rolled 2, but she can go here, and she can safely go here. She does know that this square is not trapped. It was part of the previous search. But she doesn't know anything about the rest of this hallway. She doesn't have long range to shoot at that orc, so we might as well do some searching in this hallway. Is it going to be traps or secret doors? It's traps. That's a good call. Long hallway to search here, but she does indeed find 1 trap. It's actually further down, closer to the other camera. There is a pit trap right here. So they're going to have Hogard take care of that before they can get to that red room, unless there's some sort of secret door somewhere. Justin says, we need to find time to jam. I'm really rusty, but I'd like to try and get back into it more. Yeah, that'd be fun, man. Absolutely. I know what you mean, too, because I've been trying to find time to make sure that I'm playing. Because I'm getting rusty myself, despite the fact that I'm there with my guitars and all my stuff all day, every weekday for lessons. I'm usually working on something or teaching a lesson, and I don't often pick up my guitar and do things like what I should be practicing during lesson time. So yeah, I'm getting rusty as well, and I'm trying to find time to play more, and more importantly, to learn how to play some of the Afterwinter songs that I have not played since we tracked all the guitars a long time ago. So actually recently I relearned the song Distance and the song Boundless over this past weekend, and that's been a lot of fun, like shaking the rust off, remembering how these songs go, particularly some of the solos. Fun stuff. Okay, this actually brings us back to Hogard. Let's get the camera pointing at Hogard. He is in this room, and there is nothing left to search in this room. They didn't search for traps, but Tiago already stepped on every relevant square and didn't get hit, so they're good to go there. He just needs to move, and we need to try and get him to the door out that other hallway. He might make it. Move the camera in anticipation of him getting to this door. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is he going to stop here and search that hallway for traps? He is, actually. That's good, because nobody had done that yet. So just this little hallway that goes off camera here, no traps. I grab a drink here. Okay, that takes us then to Tiaga. You might as well just leave the camera right where it's at, because she's definitely going to get to this door. 1, 2. She's going to open the door into this yellowish room here. No further doors, but we do have a torture rack. Let's go ahead and stick a card up here. Dirt floor. Sneak it under that chain right there. And we've got our torture rack right here. Oops. There's also some monsters in here. We've got a wasteland goblin. Again, slow creatures raised in deserts or in wastelands. They have higher defense, but less movement, although being a goblin, it's still pretty fast. Also in here is an ocean abomination. And we're gonna use a fancy mini here. This came with the Spirit Queen's Torment expansion pack. It is an alternate sculpt of the abomination, and it is also translucent, which is really neat. No special stats for this guy or anything, just a neat looking mini that's not painted yet. And in the back corner, we have an Orc Archer. Looks like this, kind of a heavily armored orc with a big bow. That guy's gonna cause a problem, I bet. Okay, Tiaga has not finished all of her movement, but she does attack better at long range, so there's really no reason for her to move in there. I guess the question is she going to attack or search for traps? She's going to attack. I'm kind of glad she did that. Now, I would say the goblin is not within her line of sight right at the moment, but either of these guys are. So let's see, which one is she going to shoot at? She is aiming for the abomination. Tiaga sends a blast of energy towards the abomination, and I just threw dice everywhere. In fact, one of them I threw back behind a desk that I'm not going to be able to get to. We'll leave that till later, off stream. Here we go. Ah, must have been worth it, because that is a critical hit of 3 dice. Let me review stats here, because I changed these fairly recently. Okay, that's probably going to kill it. The Ocean Abomination attempts to defend, and does not defend. Yes, that guy is dead. Darn, a cool looking mini killed basically immediately. Oops. I dropped my drawer too. I'm dropping everything today. Okay, and that concludes the hero's turn, so we've got several monsters that we need to get moving. Since we're on this camera already, let's take care of this room. So we're gonna have this goblin, 1, 2, move over here. The goblin swings its sword at Tiaga, hitting her with a 1. She blocks the attack, just barely. Also in this room, this Orc Archer is able to fire. The Orc puts an arrow in its bow and fires, hitting Tiaga with a 2. Darn. She does not block either one of those. Let's see, does she Dark Wings? Oh, that's weird. Just says he got disconnected for a moment. That's odd. See, the chat was doing weird stuff for me earlier too. So I don't know if my internet signal is being wonky or what. Now, Tiaga just took 2 damage, which means she might lose her demon form. She could cast her Dark Wings to negate that damage. I'm going to card this because there might be a better usage for this, but maybe not. So let's say red, she uses it, black, she doesn't. Red, so she is. Tiaga, instead of taking the damages, casts her Dark Wings spell, which allows her to negate damage, as well as move to any square that she can see. I think we're not going to move her, but we are going to go ahead and block that orc damage. Monster's turn also is going to extend down to our other camera where we have a couple of ocean monsters. I'm going to move this ocean goblin that's off camera, but it's going to move on to camera here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. See, I can count to 15 after all. And then we have this ocean orc. Now, how much do the ocean orcs move? 13. It's not going to need that much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Quick, these guys. The ocean orc swings its axe at Paya, hitting her with a 1. Which she blocks, but just barely. Justin says, the most I've done lately with guitar is play acoustic at bars with Chad. My fretting hand starts to swell up for some reason when I do. Oh, I get that, man. My picking hand swells up sometimes. Actually, something about the motion of the dice often makes it swell. I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but I totally get what you mean. How's Chad doing? I haven't talked to him for a long time. Every once in a while I think about some of those Forever Loud songs that I haven't heard in ages, and I wonder if he's ever recorded any of those. I feel like he should. He had some catchy stuff there. Ragnar. Ragnar is just barely on camera right up here at the top. Let's get him moving down there. He still can't help, but he's there for moral support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe he'll finally get to fight when we find that boss room. He killed Ulag. Maybe he'll get to kill Grak as well. Alright, Paya is attacking that orc that were right there. Can we get a little closer to this now that we're not needing to see a big area? Yeah, much better. Paya is going to attack this ocean orc right here. She throws a punch at him, hitting him with a critical hit of 2, and that is actually a skilled strike. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm wrong. The orc could possibly defend that, but it doesn't. It's dead anyway. There we go. Now she has another action. Is she going to search for secret doors in this hallway or move? She's going to move. Moving down towards that ocean goblin. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Hogard. Where is Hogard? He is up here. Now again, I don't think we need to roll for this because he's just going to move 1, 2. And here, he can see this goblin well enough to shoot at it. So he puts an arrow in his brand new crossbow and fires, hitting the Wasteland Goblin with a 2. The Wasteland Goblin attempts to defend, but does not. Dead. There we go. This leaves us with Tiaga, who can now try and get rid of that orc archer. She does have 2 actions though, so let's see what she does. Is she going to search for traps, search for secret doors, or shoot at that orc? She's going to search for secret doors first. There are none. And then we're going to use her other action to go ahead and attack. Tiaga sends a blast of energy at the orc archer, hitting it with a critical hit of 3, which is, this time for real, a skilled strike on an orc. That guy is super dead. Out he goes. Oh. Trying to make sure my drawers are arranged well enough that I can rotate monsters. Nice, they cleared that room pretty well, and that was both of her actions. That is the monster's turn then. So nobody up there by those 2, but we do have the ocean goblin down here with Paya. Now, ocean goblins are certainly one of the weakest monsters in the whole game when it comes to attack, but it might still land a little bit of chip damage. The ocean goblin swings its axe, hitting her with a 1. Excuse me. She does defend the attack, but again, just barely. She's not doing great with some of these defense rolls, but she's making it work. Ragnar gets to be almost useful this turn. 1, 2, 3. He's still just kind of hanging out and watching her decimate stuff. But we're coming up to a room. Maybe he can actually do some stuff in. Paya, then, hopefully can get rid of this orc. She throws, goblin. She throws a punch at the ocean goblin, hitting it with a 2, which is not only a critical hit, but a skilled strike, making this guy super dead. And now she can use her other action to move. So she's going to go ahead and open this door. 1, 2. She opens this door. In our new room, we have no further doors. We have a table. Let's tell you what, this is a nice room. This is a nice room of the dungeon. We're going to put a carpet right here, right next to the bones, right there, which we're just going to ignore. And on that carpet is a table. But at the moment, there is nothing else in this room. Now, is she going to stop here? Yes. Now, she doesn't have the action to search for traps, but she's not walking in there yet. Oh, Justin says he's good. Was just telling me he found a good place to live with space to practice, so maybe Forever Loud will come back. Slightly different lineup if it does. Absolutely, yeah, understood. They always had kind of a rotating lineup of drummers at least, right? But I know his daughter was playing drums there kind of the last time I saw them. So yeah, I wouldn't blame him for not involving Ruth. And the other guitar player, was his name Chris? Gosh, it's been so many years. Seemed like a nice dude. Didn't know him very well, but anytime we interacted with that crowd, he seemed nice. Back up to Hogard. There we go. Hogard is hanging out by this room, and we need to get some searches happening in that room. I turned the camera the wrong way. So, Hogard, has anything been searched? Just secret doors. All right, 1, 2. Again, no reason to search for traps because he's already stepped on... Oh my gosh! Chris died. I didn't know that. Wow. I need to tell Justin Kaiser about that. I knew that he hadn't been around for a while, but I didn't realize it was because he passed away. That's crazy. Yeah, overdose, unfortunately. That really sucks. Again, he seemed like a good guy. I hope he was. Hogard might as well search for treasure. Let's see what they find in that room. Awkwardly wedged between 2 stones in the wall is an old beaten pouch. Inside are 15 gold coins. That puts us up to 365 coins total. And then Tiaga, there's really nothing else to do in that room, so she might as well move away. What they really need to do is get down here where the other 2 are. That's the only place left to go in the quest. I don't know that we should go this way, though. It's probably quicker to come back through the central room and then down. Yeah, I'm going to say that's probably the smart way to go for her. So let's get her moving back that direction. And in anticipation, we'll go ahead and move the camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, monster's turn. Fairly rarely, we don't have any monsters on the board. So we are back to Ragnar, who can hopefully actually do something useful on this turn. Let's see. Okay, he's got enough to mess with that room. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is he gonna mess with that room? Yes, he is. 5. What's he gonna search? Traps, secret doors, or treasure? He's going the high number, which is treasure. He's not doing any pretenses. He's been standing behind the whole quest. We're getting some loot, darn it. Let's see what he finds. Ragnar found a heroic brew and took home all the winnings, as always. Heroic brew is a neat potion that will allow heroes to attack twice on one turn as a single action. Comes in handy for boss fights and bad situations. Would have helped him earlier when he was stuck in the middle of a whole bunch of monsters, that's for sure. Justin says, I imagine if Forever Loud comes back, it will be him, me, and his daughter Melissa. Just something we halfway talked about once. Absolutely, that would be a good lineup too. That'd be neat. Well, you tell him if he's ever interested in recording those songs, I would be interested in that as well. I'd love to have some really nice recordings of those songs. Again, I think he did a really good job writing those. They get stuck in my head even now, more than a decade after I've heard them last. Let's see, where are we at? That was Ragnar, so we are at Paya. I'd say there's probably nothing else they need to do here. Let's go ahead and have her search for secret doors, just to kind of complete that room. There are none, which means they can move away from it. We'll go ahead and get her moving with her other action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So headed on the way. Now I don't think, any characters have actually looked down this double wide. There's nothing more to put there, but it's worth mentioning since we haven't seen that yet. Okay, Hogard is off camera, isn't he? These cameras are so close together, it's hard to tell which one's pointed at what. So Hogard's in this room. They know there's nothing left to do in that room, so let's also get him moving down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Puts him right beside Tiaga, off camera. There we go. And then we can get Tiaga moving too. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we're starting her down the way. to get to where the others are. Now this double wide will need searched theoretically because nobody has, but the rest of this square has already been searched. Justin says, I'll let him know. We work the same place and shift now, so maybe something can happen. That sure would be neat. Okay, back to Ragnar. We still have no monsters on the board, but we are coming up on the last couple of rooms, including the boss room. So we'll have some good action going when we hit that. Ragnar, let's move. Ah, not very much though. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'd think the guy would be tired of lagging behind. Paya, also, she's just barely off camera here. We're probably going to need to switch to the other camera as they reach these rooms though, just for reach's sake. 1, 2, 3. Let's have her open the door here into this room. There's really no reason for her to try and jump over that pit trap. She opens the door into this kind of yellowish room here, and we find another door. And we also find 2 swamp goblins and a deep goblin. Definitely not a fun thing to run into as far as attack goes. All of these monsters have pretty good attack. Here we go. So our deep goblin is not painted, but the swamp goblins are. Our deep goblin is here. And our swamp goblins, which viewers of the paint episodes on this channel should probably recognize. I think both of these guys were painted live on stream. By the way, a plug for the other half of what this channel does. On Sunday nights and Wednesday nights, you will find my wife here on this channel streaming the exact same place, exact same time frame, but she is streaming painting these minis, which is a really fun process. If anybody in here is new and wants to come hang out with her, I know both Justin and Gohan that are in here right now hang out in there and have lots of fun conversations while she's getting some work done. Okay, Paya, we've just opened the door into but she does have a trick up her sleeve. She's got that skill that allows her to attack all adjacent monsters as a single action. I think that would be a good idea right now. She still had plenty of movement left, didn't she? Yes. Now she'd be risking walking onto the square even though she doesn't know if it's trapped, but I do think that in this case this would be worth the risk. We better card it, because I can't guarantee, obviously I know that whether or not there's a trap right there. So I can't guarantee that I'm saying she should go ahead and step there based on my own bias. So let's make it fair, but let's double weight her going in there, because I think most players would be looking for an opportunity to use this skill. So let's say if the card is a low number or a medium number, she goes in. If it's a high number, she's gonna search that room for traps instead. It is a low number, so she is going to step in, and there's no trap there. She is then going to use her element of air, using her ability Eye of the Storm, which looks like this right here. As an action, make 1 unarmed attack against all adjacent and diagonal monsters. Now before, this attack was a little bit nerfed because she had a wooden staff weapon, and this says it has to be unarmed. But luckily, she started to build her combat skill, so her unarmed attacks got stronger. She no longer uses the staff anyway, which means she's going to be throwing 2 dice against all of these monsters. So let's go clockwise. Let's get a little closer to the action. Everybody imagine her spinning around like crazy, throwing punches and kicks in every direction. And she is first going to be aiming for the swamp goblin right here. She misses it. Let's go for the deep goblin in front of her. She hit that guy with a 1. And it does not defend. That takes him out. And finally, the swamp goblin to her right. She hits that guy with a 2, which is a skilled strike. Super dead. That was pretty worth it, I'd say. 2 of the 3 guys gone in a single attack. Can't beat that. All right, where are we at here? We are at... I've lost Hogard. Couldn't think of his name there for a second. We need to get him down into that room before the 2 of these guys miss all the action. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. 4, 5, 6. I tried to move him through a wall. And Tiaga. Also 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is the last square that they know for sure isn't trapped. Is she going to stop here and search for traps? No. 6. Luckily that square is not trapped. Now that she's standing in the hallway, is she going to search for traps or secret doors? Traps. There are no traps in this double wide area. Okay, let's figure out some better camera stuff. I think we should be able to get everything with my left board camera, so I'll just move the right board camera out of the way. We are currently looking through the right board camera, so let's just put it where pretty much everybody is. See if we can go a little closer. There we go. The springs on this stand do not like being extended. Justin says, Chad has opened up his mind a bit in terms of music as well. He even let me put his guitar in drop D so I could play Everlong. Back in the day, if I even suggested alternate tuning, he'd give me crap. Yeah, I was a lot like that for a long time too. I opened my mind to drop D fairly early, but anything other than that, I was pretty vehemently against. I've never been one for the whole lower tuning equals heavier songs argument. I think Metallica proved that really well, that you can write plenty heavy songs in standard. So honestly, even when I joined Biogenesis, James had to talk me into using a 7-string, and now I can't imagine not using one. And then we ended up writing songs in drop C just because we wanted to use my song Inside the Beast. I should say mine and Savannah's song, Inside the Beast, which I had written in drop C just I don't even remember what the decision was. I think she told me she wanted it to sound modern, so I made it drop C, and then so it just made sense. If we're gonna do one song in drop C, we might as well write some others. So we ended up in that lower tuning, but it certainly wasn't because we were trying to be heavy. Because again, I've just never subscribed to that idea that lower tuning means heavier songs. Monster's turn here. We have this Swamp Goblin attacking Paya. Let me review really quick what Swamp Goblins attack with. I'm pretty sure it's 3. Yes, that is correct. The Swamp Goblin swings its daggers at Paya, hitting her with a 1, which she defends. Okay, and yeah, that's the only monster on the board. So we are back at Ragnar, who is the only hero not currently on camera. But again, I think he'll be moving on to camera, so we'll not move it quite yet. Ah, only 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess Ragnar's just taking it easy. Maybe he got injured when they all got captured, because he is definitely not moving very fast, and has not moved very fast throughout this entire process. Okay, Paya, let's see if we can take out this last guy that we didn't get in this quest. She sends a punch, swinging at the Swamp Goblin, hitting it with a 1, which it does not defend. Yes, she has cleared that room all by her lonesome. Okay, her other action, what are we going to search this room for? This room hasn't been searched at all. So traps, secret doors, or treasure. King is redraw. 3 is traps. This room has no traps. Not a lot of traps in this quest. Hogard the Dwarf, he is up at the top of the camera angle right now, up here. I guess that's not the top, is it? It's more like the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You might as well let him use his other action to search this double wide area for secret doors, although it has none. Let's adjust yet again here. And then Tiaga is finally getting close to the rest of the party. Moves 1, 2, 3, 4, and then she can't take her 5th movement because Ragnar's in the way. Nothing else to search for. Oh, you know what? She can actually search this bottom hallway for secret doors. It's just about corner to corner. Again, there are none, but you always want to check for everything and make sure. No monsters on the board at this moment, so we are back to Ragnar. We definitely need to get a better camera angle and theoretically closer to the action. If the springs will let me. Yeah, it's a little better than it was. Ragnar, let's do some stuff. 1, 2. That room has been searched for traps, so he knows he's safe walking in there. 3, 4. Is he going to search for secret doors, search for treasure, or continue through that door? He is going to search for secret doors in this room and find none. Paya, treasure or move? She's going to move. Let me reshuffle my randomizer deck here. Okay, we'll get her moving into this, which I believe is the last room of the quest. 1, 2. She opens the door into the red room. One of two ways to get into this room. And what we find is the stairway exit to the quest. And also, boy, a smattering of monsters, if you will. A deep goblin. Right there. A goblin archer. Right here. A swamp orc. Right here. A deep orc. Right here. And finally, the antagonist of this quest, the son of the orc warlord, Grak, who's, oh yeah, let's show this mini off just a little bit. So this is also from the Spirit Queen's Torment expansion, an alternate sculpt of the orc that is translucent. Grak, in addition to being good at close range combat, has some spells. Justin says the low tune equals heavy argument is pretty watered down. I think heavy music is typically lower to accommodate vocal styles, not necessarily because it's low, it's heavy, but I don't ever hear anyone else talk about it. Yeah, thankfully I've kind of stopped hearing that argument over the years, that lower tuning means heavier. Yeah, definitely. I think your music can be heavy regardless of what you're doing, unless maybe you're playing a ukulele, you know. I don't know. Ukulele might be too high to ever get in that realm, but maybe, I don't know, maybe somebody needs to add some distortion to a ukulele and see what they can do. But yes, I've always been plenty satisfied with the standard tuning range with either 6-string or 7-string guitars. I like the 7th string more for the extra notes that it provides than because it gives us lower notes. And kind of same with any drop tuning, whether it's drop D or drop C or drop C sharp, I guess if you want to get technical. I enjoy any drop tuning for the different riffs that it kind of allows you to create because of the different fingerings, and not because power chords are easier or because it's slightly lower. Yeah. Okay, so Paya now has opened up just kind of a bad situation here. It's not the first time a hero's done that tonight, but she does still have movement left and another action left. Now, again, I think it would be pretty foolish of her to walk in there because she would immediately be surrounded. She might manage to take out a monster, but walking in there is probably dumb. So first off, is she going to stop here and search for traps? Okay, yeah, that solves it right there. That's what she's gonna do. And despite the fact that there's a whole bunch of monsters, I think that's probably a smart thing to do. There are no traps in that room, and now they know for sure they can walk in there safely. Justin says, like Ghost is almost all tuned down a whole step, but not much of it is considered heavy by many people. Good point. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Did some stuff with that D standard here recently. There was an Almost Happened band with myself and Justin playing bass and Eli playing drums from Afterwinter, and the son of the main lady from Shot of Whiskey is named Jason, singing, and we were hired to play a gig that kind of fell through, where we were going to do some kind of heavy covers. So we picked 2 Metallica songs, 2 Megadeth songs, and 2 Pantera songs. And we only had a couple of practices before the show fell through, but I had a really good time learning those. We were doing... see if I can multitask remember this. The two Metallica songs were Seek and Destroy and Sad But True, and Sad But True is in D standard. The two Megadeth songs were Tornado of Souls and Angry Again, which were naturally, I'm a Megadeth fan anyway, so those two songs were two of my favorites to play. And then the two Pantera songs were Mouth for War and Walk, because of course, Walk, which is also in D standard. Lots of fun to learn those. I don't know if I remember them, because that was probably February. I love Angry Again. Yes, yes. That was the first song that we all decided on. Out of all 6 of those, that was the first one. I'm going to move Hogard here, and he is off camera, and I'm not convinced he's going to make it onto camera. So let me just poke this over just a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. He's almost within range of doing something, but not quite. Tiaga. You know what? It might be to her benefit to try and get to the other door. While she's in demon form, she can just ignore this pit trap. I don't think she quite got enough movement to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can't leave her standing on a pit trap, so we'll leave her there. But I do think that's probably strategically a good idea to have her at this other door firing. Oh, Justin says, what do you think about Megadeth's version of Ride the Lightning? It was exactly what I expected. Musically good. Dave's vocals leave a lot to be desired. I generally like Dave's vocals. I definitely had to get used to them, like I think anybody does when they first start listening to Megadeth. He's got a very unique and weird voice. I think mainly, I don't think the cover was necessary. I don't personally agree with his reasoning as to why he needed to do it. Now, having said that, I'm just some guy, and he's Dave Mustaine, and if anybody has the right to determine what is the best for Dave Mustaine to come to terms with his past, it's him. So if he really felt like he needed to do this to come full circle, then good. And I hope it accomplished what he was looking to do. I thought the cover was a little shaky, and again, unnecessary. I would have rather had a new original Megadeth song than a so-so cover of a Metallica song that he didn't really have that much to do with writing, if we're being honest. As per usual, I think, and I think most Megadeth fans would probably agree, and you let me know if you think this too, I wish Dave would just let go. I wish he'd let it go. We know you were in Metallica. We know what happened. You've had an almost equally successful career. Just do that, man. There are plenty of us that love and maybe even prefer what you've done past being in Metallica. Just do that. You know? That leads us to the monster's turn, which right now we're really only worried about Paya. We could have a monster open this door and come out the hallway. Maybe we'll do that as well. But first off, we need to see who is going to come attack Paya. It should probably be one of these two orcs right here, because the goblin can shoot at her either way. The deep goblin here is probably the one who ought to be headed out the hallway. Grak can cast spells rather than move, so it's going to be one of these guys. Let's do that top guy. This is the swamp orc coming up here. Swamp orcs have higher attack and less defense, so the swamp orc swings its sword, hitting Paya with a 2. She defends one, but not the other. Luckily, they haven't lost a whole lot of body points this quest, so that only drops her to 8. The goblin archer is also able to shoot at Paya. It's holding some sort of little bomb-looking thing, so it throws a bomb at Paya, hitting her with 1. She blocks, but just barely. This orc can't really do anything. Let's go ahead and send this deep goblin out into the hallway. Now, deep goblins are slow, but it's a goblin, so it probably still moves a decent amount. There it is, 5. So that's probably enough to get us where we're going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As always, monsters do not trigger traps, so that goblin can stand on that pit trap without triggering it. The deep goblin swings its axe at Tiaga. hitting her with a 2. Maybe we should have saved that Dark Wings. She does not block either one of them, taking both of those damage. This only drops her to 7. She's still got plenty of health, but she loses her demon form. Okay. Justin says, yes, I agree. I like Megadeth better anyway. I went to see them in concert. I have no desire to see Metallica. Not that I dislike Metallica, I just vibe with Megadeth more. Yeah, I'm the same way. I wouldn't mind seeing Metallica live at some point, but I have seen Megadeth 2 or 3 times. It's been a long time. I think all of the times I've ever seen Megadeth was the 13 era. So when they had Dave Ellison, Sean Drover, and Chris. Oh no. What is Chris's last name? Obviously not Chris Poland. Chris Broderick. Gosh, I've met him in real life. I can't believe I forgot his name. And yeah, fantastic shows every time. I think it is blasphemy that Justin has never seen Metallica live. My friend Justin Kaiser has never seen Metallica live, and I have never seen Def Leppard live. So arguably 2 of the most influential bands for the 2 of us in our early teenage years, and it's still Justin's favorite band by a long shot. And somehow we have not seen either of those 2 bands live, the 2 of us. I've seen just about all of my other big influences live. I've seen Kiss live, I've seen Megadeth live, I've seen Dream Theater live. But yeah, never Metallica and never Def Leppard. Justin said, I've watched Metallica stream concerts and that was good enough for me. Yeah, fair enough. Now, if we had a time machine, if we could go back and see the Master of Puppets tour, the And Justice for All tour, even the Black Album tour, I'd, in a heartbeat, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially to see Cliff Burton live with them, see Jason Newsted live with them. I'd take any of those immediately. Okay, back out here, we are at Ragnar, and poor Raggy still does not have long range and therefore can't do anything until somebody makes a hole for him to get through. That is unfortunate. Now, he could use his rallying call to give himself and Paya 2 extra defense until he can no longer see a monster. That might be the only useful thing he can do. Oh, good. He can search this room for treasure. The room he's standing in has not been searched for treasure. Let's take care of that. Justin says, I've seen Deathclock live twice. I can die happy. Yeah, absolutely. I think they just went back out on tour too, didn't they? Seems like I saw that, the girl guitar player. I know her name, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Nili or something like that? I think it's Nili, right? Fantastic guitar player that always goes out with him. And I think I saw her post about preparing for the tour. And it's probably, I imagine it's Gene Hoglan on drums too. Amazing. Oh man, okay, Ragnar. Poor Ragnar. He's hung back the whole quest and now he's found poison. You accidentally trigger a spring-loaded mechanism which crushes a glass vial and showers you in a stinging purple liquid. It's poison. Roll 1 combat dice. If it lands on a skull, you lose 1 body point. On any other result, you are unharmed. Let's see if he manages to shake off the effects of the poison. Nope, he gets hit with a body point. He's still pretty high up there in body points. The heroes honestly have done really well taking damage. Yeah, they're going out again. They will be at Sonic Temple. Makes sense. Makes sense. That would, honestly, I feel like that would probably be a good way to go. If you're going to tour, hit as many of those big festivals as possible. Oh, Justin says, I've seen Necrogoblicon like 5 or 6 times. Yes, I remember you talking about those guys. Because you've met them too, right? Or at least the main guy. And tell you what, let's go ahead and, while we're at Ragnar, I think we are going to let him use his Rallying Call skill. So the Rallying Call Knight skill does not count as an action. This allows the Knight and every hero in the same room or corridor, so this counts for him and Paya, to roll 2 extra defense dice until there are no longer any monsters in the Knight's line of sight. So as long as Ragnar is in this area with these monsters, the 2 of them are going to receive 2 extra defense dice. That'll definitely help the both of them. Okay, Paya. Paya needs to attack and hopefully make a hole for Ragnar to get in there. And then she needs to move so that she's not blocking the doorway. Tell you what, let's go ahead and use her Strength of the Mountain. This is her element of Earth. Now I'd like to use this on Grak. Oh, we didn't have him cast a spell on his turn. That was dumb. But other heroes have some stuff that will help similarly. So if she uses her Strength of the Mountain skill, this allows her to roll 2 additional attack dice on an unarmed attack. This will let her roll 4 to hopefully get rid of that guy. So here she goes. She throws a Strength of the Mountain punch at that swamp orc, hitting it with a 1. Not very much, but she did still manage to take it out. Got a couple of comments here. Let's see what's going on. Okay, first time chat. How's it going? I appreciate the chat, man. Not sure how to pronounce the username, so forgive me for that. But this chat says, I have a question. Neither my wife nor I have ever played D&D until recently. Closest we have come is playing through Baldur's Gate 3. We recently purchased everything needed to play together, me as DM and her as a player, plus 1 or 2 companions/pets. We have done 3 or 4 sessions and lost Minds of Fandelver. Any tips or advice? Oh yeah, that is a fantastic question. Now, I'll be totally honest with you. This that you're looking at here is a fantasy board game called Hero Quest, which is very, very similar to D&D, but much simpler. And kind of one of the big points of Hero Quest is that you can homebrew it and extend it to be as complicated or as simple as you would like. In regards to actual D&D, I've never actually played. So not sure to be totally honest with you, but I can absolutely recommend if you're looking for something that is D&D-esque, very fantasy, but a lot simpler than that, but still with plenty of room to add in your own flair and flavors, and with enough kind of openness that it's you can add in your own things. You can make it more complicated, or you can leave it simpler. Plus, there's the big benefit of having the board and the physical characters, which I know a lot of D&D doesn't. Not all D&D, obviously, but a lot of D&D focuses more on imagination than physical characters and stuff. This is a lot less dice throwing, a lot less stat checking, but still very fun. And it's something that is available in a lot of retail places. You can get stuff on Amazon. It's fairly cheap. I think the base set is a little more than $100. Justin, you were looking this up a couple of nights ago, right? Was it $107 on Amazon, I think is what he said. So I highly recommend checking this game out if you're looking to get started in D&D and not trying to go super, super deep on it. But as far as real D&D, maybe some of the other people in the chat can help a little bit more than I could. I think Justin's done some D&D before. I might be wrong about that. Yes. No, thank you for the comment. I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate the checking out the video and asking a question. And Justin says also, yeah, I met the Goblin at the OG singer and the new singer and their lead guitarist. I got to show the guitar player me playing one of his solos. Oh, that had to have been neat. As far as D&D for beginners, go to the YouTube channel. Jenny D is fantastic. Oh, good. I'm going to keep that in mind too. Because I've had a couple people ask me about joining their D&D sessions, and I probably don't have time, but also I've just been worried that I know virtually nothing about it. I know I love anything that allows a lot of creative freedom, and it seems like that's kind of like D&D's whole thing, is that you can just create whatever situation you can think of, and then as a player you can react in whatever way you want to, which is so cool. Okay, we were at the end of Ragnar. Oh no, sorry, we had just attacked with Paya. So Paya has a second action because casting, or not really casting, but utilizing her Strength of the Mountain skill did not count as an action. So she used that, attacked, now she's open, and I think we've done good enough that we can move her into the room without worrying about that being a death sentence. She also still has a skill left that will allow her to negate damage once. So I think we can kind of safely move her in here so that we can be sure that Ragnar can get in there on the next turn and actually kind of contribute. Speaking of contributing, Hogard is the dwarf standing out here in the hallway Now he can either shoot at this deep goblin or move in there, and I think his skill set is going to be better utilized in the red room. Surely Tiaga can take out this goblin. Let's go ahead and move Hogard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll just stick him right here, and we'll see if he can get rid of this archer while he's here. So Hogard pulls out his broadsword and swings at the goblin archer, hitting it with a 2, which is a skilled strike. That goblin is a super dead. Get up in there. And that leaves us with Tiaga out here in the hallway fighting this deep goblin. The only reason she came this way was to get over that pit trap in her demon form, which she lost because she got hit. Whoops. Tiaga pulls out her wooden staff and takes a swing at the deep goblin, but misses it. Ouch. Can she do anything else? She's got her fear spell, but that's kind of wasted on a goblin, if I'm being honest. It doesn't even reduce its attack by that much, so I don't think that's really a good use of that spell. Nothing else to be searched in this hallway. I guess that is the end of her turn. Okay, monster's turn. So we're just staying right in this area. Everything on the board right now is happening in this one area. We need to make sure that we let Grak take a turn this time, because I just forgot to last time. Let's take care of the deep goblin and Tiaga down here. So the deep goblin swings its axe at Tiaga, but also misses. They're just missing each other back and forth. That's all that they can do there. This guy is a deep orc, so he's got a couple of potential targets. He is standing next to Paya, and he is indeed going to attack Paya. The deep orc swings its sword and misses. Boy, everybody's missing. Justin says, my favorite D&D YouTube channels are Jenny D, DM Lair, Pointy Hat, and Dungeon Dudes. They all have great videos. And also fantastic channel names, if I may say so. Pointy Hat is just, I mean, that's fantastic. Dungeon Dudes is also really clever. I love that. I'm sure there's some videos on this stuff too. I'd like to look into some more world building. I actually bought a D&D manual a little while back for the purpose of reading through its world building section, and I got most of the way through it before I just had too much else going on. But that is one thing, since I have adapted HeroQuest into a much more linear storyline, I would love to do more just world building with it. And any tips on that are always super appreciated from people who have, I'm sure, built very in-depth worlds that are very realistic too, which would be good. I think I've mentioned on stream before that I do have a map of the region that this campaign takes place in, that I made, but it is based on information I found in the HeroQuest quest books. Anytime there was a place mentioned, I would write it down, and if there was any reference to whereabouts that place was, I wrote that down, and I included that information on the map, but I don't feel like the map is very good. It's not very realistic, and it is a fantasy world, but again, I'd like it to follow general physics, so that's something I definitely need to improve at some point, especially as we eventually finish this campaign and start writing completely custom quests and storylines. That's going to be really important, I feel like. Yes, so the deep goblin attacked. We've also got that deep orc. Right, he missed as well. So we're actually at Grak. So Grak here is a big old orc who not only can physically attack, but also can cast spells. Spells are definitely his strong point. Just like heroes, monsters only have 2 actions. So he could move and attack, or he could move and cast a spell. He could cast a spell and attack, but he's not adjacent to anybody. But I do feel like he's more inclined to cast a spell than physically attack. So let's do that. Now he has 3 dread spells, which we are just going to randomize using the card suits. So we'll say spades is a redraw, but hearts, diamonds, and clubs will line up with the 3 spells I have in this pile. So diamonds, he's going to use the second spell. That spell is Sleep. The spell puts any one hero into a deep sleep. A sleeping hero is unable to move, attack, or defend themselves, and then we'll worry about how to break it when we figure out which hero he is casting this on. he currently can see both Paya and Hogard, so either one of them are potential targets. Let's see which one he's going to do. He is going to do Hogard. So he's just put Hogard to sleep. This spell can be broken immediately or on a future turn by the hero rolling 1 movement dice for each of their mind points. If a 6 is rolled, the spell is broken. This is a pretty common mechanic for Hero Quest spells that try to take over somebody's mind for any reason. Now, this is a good spell to use on Hogard. Dwarves don't have a whole bunch of mind points. They only have 3. So let me grab 1 more movement dice, because he does get to try and negate this spell immediately. So we're going to move 3 movement dice. No 6s. Hogard is asleep, and this is particularly bad. Not only can he not help, but he can't defend against monster attacks now. So this is a big deal. Let's also move Grak away. Since he has another action and can move, we want to get him at least a little bit out of the way of the heroes so that he can try and attack them as much as possible. That might have been a dumb move on my part. He maybe should have gone out the hallway. Oh well. We are now at Ragnar. So let's get Ragnar moving into the room. Now if we remember, Ragnar is kind of the reason this whole quest happened. So this orc's father, Ulag, captured Ragnar. The heroes went on a mission to save this guy, and then the heroes, including Ragnar, went on a mission to destroy Ulag. It was Ragnar, by chance essentially, that ended up dealing the killing blow. So it would be kind of poetic for him to also deal the killing blow to Grak. Let's see if we can make that happen. Ragnar moves 1, 2, 3, 4 right up to Grak. Ragnar can also use his concentrated attack skill. Again, this does not use an action. For the next 3 times you attack, you may roll 2 additional attack dice. So for this one, this is going to be the first of 3, where he gets an extra powerful attack. Ragnar normally has a broadsword, which is 3, so now he's going to be swinging 5. Ragnar swings his focused attack at Grak, hitting Grak with 2. Grak attempts to defend, and does manage to defend one of those attacks, but not the other. Grak has 3 body points, so he's down to 2 now. We're getting down to it. Okay, next is Paya the Monk, who is standing right here. Let's turn her around and see if she can get rid of this deep orc. She throws a fist at the orc, hitting it with a critical hit of 2. The orc does not defend, making it dead. That's good on her. What else can she do? She's got 1 action left. She can search this room for secret doors and find none. Ooh, Justin says Bob World Builder and Mystic Arts are really good too. I swear I'm not obsessed. Yeah, no kidding. I'm definitely going to check out that Bob World Builder. That sounds like maybe right up my alley for information I'm looking for. Hogard now has, now that it is his turn, the only thing he can do is attempt to throw off that spell. So we'll throw the 3 movement dice again. Still no 6. He is asleep. Down here we have Tiaga the Warlock still fighting this deep goblin. Tiaga swings her wooden staff, hitting the goblin with a 1, which the goblin does not defend, finally getting rid of it. In defeating the goblin, she also consumes its essence, which gives her access to her demon form spell yet again. I think that there's no reason, since she has a second action, not to just go ahead and cast it. So let's do that. She recasts, I think for the 3rd time this quest, her demon form spell, which transforms her into this huge demon-looking thing. This allows her to ignore pit traps and also gives her an extra attack dice for both close range and long range. She can't do anything else on this turn, but she has set herself up to do some more powerful attacks. This brings us back to the monster's turn, and the only monster we have now is Grak, who must be kind of worried at the moment. He is, despite the fact that he got a successful sleep spell off, still surrounded by pretty powerful heroes. Now, as I mentioned earlier, he's got 2 actions, so he is first off going to attack Ragnar with his warhammer. Grak swings the hammer at Ragnar, hitting Ragnar with a 3. Now Ragnar still is has the rallying call effect on, affecting his defense. So he's actually defending pretty well too. Except this time, he only defended 2 of the attacks, taking 1 body point of damage, bringing him down to a total of 6. Grek can also then cast a spell. Now he's got these 2 spells left, the same 2 that were left over from last time. Let's just do a red or black. Red means he's going to cast the top spell, which is Fear. This spell causes any one hero to become so fearful that they may only use 1 attack dice. And then the breaking the spell mechanic is exactly the same as Sleep. Now obviously it wouldn't do him any good to cast this on Hogard, but he is within sight of both Paya and Ragnar. Ragnar would be the smarter target. Who's he going to hit? He is indeed going to go for Ragnar. Okay, so as I mentioned, Fear has, almost the same breaking mechanics. Ragnar cannot potentially throw this off immediately. We have to wait until his turn, which is pretty much now. But again, he is rolling a movement dice for each of his mind points, and if he rolls a 6, he breaks the spell. But this was basically the best possible option for Grak, because this Fear is also going to negate Ragnar's concentrated attack until he can throw it off. And Ragnar is pretty dumb as well. He only has 2 mind points. So it's Ragnar's turn. Let's see if he throws off this spell. He is currently very fearful. Does he break that spell? No, he does not. So his attacks are now only going to be 1 dice, and we're basically pausing the concentrated attack until / unless this Fear spell gets taken off. Ragnar throws a Scared Punch and does manage to hit Grak with 1. Grak defends the hit, fairly unsurprisingly. Okay, that takes us to Paya the Monk right here. Now she can't do a huge amount, but she can move up there to attack. 1, 2, 3. Paya throws a punch at Grak, hitting him with a critical hit of 2. This might actually be the killing blow if he doesn't defend anything. And he doesn't. There it was. So Ragnar, rendered useless at the last moment, but Paya coming through anyway, destroys Grak. I'm going to go ahead and mark that down as an achievement on her paper here. Killed Grak. And all we need to do now is get some treasure searches on in this room. So first off, we need to determine who is searching. Hogard is still asleep. So let's see if he throws off the sleep spell finally. He does. So whether because the person who cast the spell is dead or because he just happened to wake up at that moment, he does indeed wake up. And treasure is the only thing left to search here. Let me just do a quick make sure we didn't miss any treasure anywhere. Nope, we didn't. We're good. Hogard searches this room for treasure, and I believe this room has a special treasure. The first hero to search for treasure in this room after all the monsters are dead will find a staff, exactly like the one described in the armory, and the Wizard's Cloak artifact. So this isn't going to do Hogard much good, but he manages to find this. This magical cloak made of shimmery fabric is covered with mystical runes. It can only be worn by a wizard, giving them 1 extra defense dice. Awesome. So Hogard needs to give this to our wizard. We only have 1, right? Treyas. So basically Treyas is going to inherit this after the quest is over. I'll lay that on Hogard's character sheet, but I'm not going to write it down. And that pretty much concludes the quest. So we know that eventually Ragnar would throw off that Fear spell, given enough dice rolls. And then the only thing left would be them rolling to get onto the stairs, which they're all right next to it. So we know that within a turn, or maybe 2 at the most, they would all end up on the stairs, escaping their imprisonment. Awesome. All right, well, as always, let's... Oh, Bohemia says the Warlock can use it. Yes, you are correct. You are correct. Excuse me, I believe I changed that. But yes, on the original wording of the card, you're absolutely correct. There was a reason that I removed that from the Warlock, but what was it? Because I sure can't think of a good reason at the moment. Yeah. No, I can't think of a good reason. So I remember thinking of something at one point, but I don't know what it was. And it wasn't anything because of HeroQuest. It would have been because of some other thing I changed. Some sort of balancing something. Don't remember. Okay, so cleanup here. I'm going to get rid of unused spells and skills. Go ahead and stack up our items in our hero pile over there. And I'll borrow... I think I will go ahead and give that to Treyas, just in case there is a good reason that I just can't think of right at the moment, but I sure can't. We'll go ahead and equip him with the Wizard's Cloak. Which will up him to 3 defense dice next time he goes on a quest. Means we don't have to buy him chainmail, which is handy. Okay, so let's talk about the heroes, how they did on this quest, and take care of their skill sets. So just in case anybody new is watching, one of the big changes that I made to the base hero quest is introducing a skill set system that allows you to customize the heroes a little bit more. It allows them to get a little bit better, get some fancy stuff, some fancy skills and things that they can take into the quest to help them. And also, this eventually applies to a monster scale difficulty chart, which will make the monsters harder the more experienced the heroes are as they go in. So first off here, Sir Ragnar, and a little bit disappointed in his performance in this quest, if I had to be totally honest, and it's just because he kept getting garbage movement rolls. He just kind of hung back the whole time. Now, he did get swarmed right at the beginning, trapped away from the rest of the group with no equipment, and managed to get through it despite going clear down to half health. So can't take that away from him. He did do really good at the beginning, but then it kind of seemed like that took the luster out of him a little bit. He probably took the most damage out of everybody in this quest, honestly. It's a little bit of a shame he didn't get to do the killing blow on Grak too, but that's all right. We don't want one hero getting all the stuff. So his first skill set point is going to go to combat level 2. Let's see if that's anything for him. Yes, so his base attack is going to increase to 2. He could have used that on this quest. So base attack is basically how many dice you throw if you have no weapon. It doesn't get used super often unless there's a quest like this one that takes away the hero's equipment temporarily, or if somebody were to cast the rust spell on him, if he were to lose his broadsword, he'd be throwing 2 dice now. So that combat helps him be just generally stronger. And his second skill set point is going to be education level 2, also good for him. This is an extra mind point, so we're going to up him to 3 mind points, which would help him better throw off spells like sleep or fear. And that's it for him. Might be a little while before we see him on a quest now. Since this quest forced the 4 heroes, need to be the same 4 heroes that went on quest 3 on this. He's now been on more quests than several of our other heroes. So we want to make sure that we balance this properly. Next up is Paya. Now she did pretty good. Now she didn't use all of her monk skills this quest, which is the first time that's happened. But she was definitely kind of, she was at the front of the line where Ragnar was at the back, so she did a whole bunch. Ooh, Justin says, "You're a vampire man. It's past 3 and I know you have kids and work tomorrow. Granted, I don't know what time you start work." It is past 3, isn't it? Holy crap. Yes, I go into work at 11 a.m., so I should be in bed. I meant for these to never go past 3. I guess we were so close to the end that it felt silly to stop it. Yeah. Okay, real quick, so I guess we'll finish this up real quick. Paya, let's see what skill set she's gonna do. Her first one is going to be Machinery level 2. Now I know that's nothing, but Machinery level 3 will allow her to disarm traps as if she has a toolkit. Her second point is going to be Magic Skill level 2. Now this is not super handy for a monk, but eventually they would get spells. Magic Skill level 2. Yeah, she doesn't get anything here until level 6. So she's kind of working towards that. Hogard the Dwarf also did pretty good this quest. Hit that crossbow that we bought him right at the very beginning that you guys voted on was definitely helpful to him. He used it quite often in this quest, and he was properly utilized as kind of a damage taker there for a little while. He's got the best defense out of everybody. Let's see. What's he gonna do here? First point, Magic Skill 2. Again, for a dwarf, I doubt that's anything for a while. Yeah, he doesn't get anything until, well, level 3. He has to have level 3 in Magic Skill and then level 4 in Magic Memorization before he starts getting spells. His second point then is going to be Constitution level 2, which means his maximum body points goes up to 11. So on his next quest, he'll have a little bit more health to play around with. Okay, and finally, Tiaga the Warlock did pretty good with consistently getting her demon form spell back. She kept getting it knocked out of her, but then she kept getting it back too, which is good. Sometimes the Warlock struggles to get that back. Yeah, I kind of doubt we're going to be seeing any of the 4 of these heroes for a little while. Her 2 skill set points. First one is going to be Combat level 3. Is that anything for her? Not yet, but she'll get something at level 4. And her second point is going to be, oh, there it is, Combat level 4. So obviously being a magic-based character, combat gives her a little bit less than everybody else, but this increased her base attack to 2, which is good. This also means we can sell off her wooden staff because she doesn't need it anymore. She's now attacking the same amount with her bare fists. That reminds me, Hogard also found a staff along with the Wizard's Cloak, so we can sell both of those. That's going to give us some extra gold. Okay, so we'll put this away. We're done with that. Let's give that gold. So Mentor always, at least in this first book, awards the heroes with 50 coins per surviving hero. So as long as all 4 heroes survive, we're talking 200 coins. That's going to put us up to 565. And then if we sell both of those staffs, that's an additional 150. Which is going to put us at, oh my gosh, math on camera is always awful. Oh, brain, failing me hardcore. That would be 615, 715. Somebody correct me if that's not right. 565 plus 150. Is that 715? That should have been way simpler than my brain was making that out. So we've got an okay amount of gold to play around with before our next quest. And again, please do let me know if I got that wrong. I will absolutely correct that. Trying to do math on camera. Not my strong suit. I've got a calculator on the computer. I should just use that, right? I remember that. All right, guys, that does it for tonight's quest. Another good one, and this puts us just below halfway through our first book. Already, we are getting so far in this already, and I'm looking forward to everything that we have as we continue to progress through the storyline. So we will catch you guys tomorrow night for another stream. As always, quests are streamed Friday nights, Saturday nights, Monday nights, and Tuesday nights, always at midnight Ohio time. And then on Sunday nights and Wednesday nights, we have paint streams. So we will be back tomorrow for quest number 7. And then the night after that, Savannah will be back here painting some more heroes. Thank you all so much for watching as much as possible. I say that over and over and over, but it is because genuinely I mean it. Anybody that takes time out of their day to watch me play this game that I would totally be playing and loving even if nobody was watching, totally blows my mind. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Really appreciate all of the conversation tonight. Everybody that was watching, thank you for watching, and thank you especially to Justin Pollitt and Gohan and also Bohemius for checking in the chat and having some conversation. You guys are awesome. We will see you guys tomorrow night at midnight.